Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my full playthrough walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. This is a single segment walkthrough, so this is going to be one video. I estimate it's going to be anywhere between 2.5 hours to 3 hours. If you are looking for help with something specific, check the timestamps in the description or the chapter markers, and then you can skip right ahead. If you are here for a full walkthrough, welcome, and I hope you enjoy. Few caveats with this walkthrough. This is a 100% walkthrough, and we're defining 100% as having to beat the game with all 20 hearts, all sub-menu items, like all the bottles, all the upgraded weapons and everything. We're going to finish the game with the red tunic, the gold sword, the red boomerang, or the magic boomerang, as well as the silver arrows. We will not be getting the bomb and arrow capacity upgrades. I'll show you where to get them, but you don't need them. It's kind of a waste of rupees and just takes forever to grind out, so I'm just going to skip it. But other than that, we're basically doing everything in the game. The other big caveat of this is that this is going to be a sequence breaking route. I'm not using any glitches in this run, so don't worry about it. There's no real advanced techniques or anything. But when you get to the Dark World in this game, which is like the second half of the game, or the second 2/3 of the game, really, you have the option of doing things out of order. And doing things out of order actually makes things easier because you're able to get, most notably, the red sword quite early, which makes dungeons 2 and 3 in the Dark World very easy. So we're going to do that. It also makes it so you can get quite a lot of hearts after you finish Thieves Town, which is the second dungeon we're going to do in the Dark World. It's really level 4, though. So just keep that in mind. But again, if you're looking for help with something specific, go ahead and check the timestamps in the description or the chapter markers and skip to where you need to go. Really, aside from that red sword upgrade, there's really not much that we're going to be using that we quote-unquote shouldn't be using if we did everything in the exact order. But again, we're not using any glitches. Really, once you get the magic hammer out of the Dark Palace, which is the first Dark World dungeon, you have quite a lot open to you, so that's why we do Thieves Town second. Okay, let's get started. So, keeping with tradition, we're going to name this character Guide, or this file Guide. I can't spell. Hello. Okay. Now, I am using the SNES Classic version of this game. This is the American version of the game. In my previous walkthrough for this game, I used the Japanese 1.0 version just to show off a couple of glitches, but other than text, like the amount of text or the text speed, as well as those glitches, they're not much different. I actually think this game these days is ran, or speed ran, on the American version anyway. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like I've seen it. Okay, so starting off, I'm actually going to do something kind of tricky here. This is a bit of a speedrunning trick, but in this chest is the magic lamp, and you cannot get through the castle basement without it. However, there is a better place to get it, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to skip that chest for now. The game has a few like fail-safe chests in it, which is really quite nice, meaning that you can't skip certain items. The game will basically give them to you no matter what. Okay, so we need to find Link's uncle, and so we're just going to follow this path of stones on the ground here. The game is guiding us up this path, and then we're going to press A on this bush and just fall into the hole below. And then once we drop, we are going to speak with Link's uncle. Okay, and then we have the sword and shield. Now, something that I forgot to mention at the very start of this video is that this walkthrough will work for the Game Boy Advance version of the game. However, the puzzle in the Ice Palace, or one of the puzzles in the Ice Palace, is different, and I'll go into what's different about it when we get there. But no matter what version of the game you're playing, this walkthrough will work. Okay, so here we are inside of the castle, and so what we need to do is we need to go to the dungeon and rescue Princess Zelda, as she telepathically told us in our sleep. So you can take either the left or the right pathway, it doesn't matter. Oh, that was a waste. Either way, you're going to end up in this room here with this staircase, and then you're going to go down the stairs. So in this room, we are going to kill this guard. Oop. Sometimes you can get one sword swing. We're We pick up the key. This is the dungeon map. I'm going to be skipping maps and compasses. To quote Rick O'Connell in The Mummy, I am the map. But you can pick them up if you want to. Alrighty. So we're going to keep following this path. We can just ignore the guards. They're not really going to bother us too much. When we get into this room here, you want to wait a second. Let the guards right there. I messed it up. Really, the idea is to let the guards go down a bit. This way you can sneak past them. I messed it up. It's okay, though. So we're going to charge the sword as we go through this door. And then one sword swing will kill green guards. You need a sword swing and a sword hit to kill blue guards, or 3 regular sword slashes. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the key here. Inside of this chest is the dungeon item. This is the Boomerang. However, I'm going to skip it because I want to show you one of those fail-safe chests later on in the game. And I'm also going to skip the first fairy fountain, or like secret fairy fountain that gives you upgrades. I'll show you where it is, but I am going to skip it. And if we choose not to get the Boomerang here, we are ultimately, I believe, locked out of the castle once. Yeah, you're locked out of the castle once you reach the Dark World. So if you go to the Dark World without the Boomerang, a chest in the Dark World will automatically give you the upgraded magic Boomerang. So I'm going to skip this for now, but you can pick it up if you like. Okay, so continuing on through the basement. Go through a couple of rooms here. Really just a couple loading screens. Alrighty, we're going to kill this guard. And then there is a ball and chain or a mace knight. So I'm going, or flail, really. So I'm just going to take 2 pots, chuck them at him, and then he drops the big key. And this will open the door to rescue Princess Zelda, but before you do that, open this chest for the lamp. Again, it's one of those fail-safe chests, because you can't get back to Link's house at this point to get the lamp, so they give you the lamp in that chest. Otherwise, I think it's just hearts. I kind of don't remember what's in the chest otherwise. Alright, so now that we have Zelda, we can begin exiting the castle. However, we can't just walk out the front door. We have to go through the secret passageway in the throne room. Zelda will give us a hint for that once we kind of reach the entrance. But, you know, we already know where we're going, so we don't have to worry about it. So we're just going to walk up these catwalks. It's a safer route, and it's also quicker. All right, so just sneak behind this guard, and then this guard does respawn, so we are going to just sneak around him. Very good. And we're going to go the exact route that we just came from. So we're going to go to the west, and we're going to go south 1 screen and east 1 screen. All right, so here comes the hint. Secret passage in the throne room that leads to the sanctuary, so that's what we're going to do. Take this staircase, go up to the throne room, and then we can go to the side of the bookshelf, and as long as we have the lamp, we'll be able to push this. If you do not have the lamp in your inventory, this will not move. So again, that's why the game has a fail-safe chest in her cell. Let's watch out for the rats. This can be a little terrifying in here. All right, so on this next floor, we're going to have some ropes or snakes. I don't know why they're called ropes. All right, so this is easier with the Boomerang, but it's fine. You can take the hit. Just get through them. You don't have to kill them. There's a key or rope right here and a key over here. Wow, just got that. And a key inside of this chest. So with that, we're going to go north and then unlock this door. And now we're in the sewers. So we're going to go west 1 screen. And then in this next room, we're going to go to the north. And then once we get into the room, we're going to look for a rat to our left. This rat has a key. It's over here. This guy. This guy always has a key. Sometimes you can get bad luck and they can like really run around the room and just kind of get lost. But there's a rat in that room and it always has a key. All right. So one thing that I want to talk about is this crack right here. You need a bomb or the Pegasus boots to open it. And I will show you how to get back into here after you rescue Zelda. It's through the graveyard. Okay. Fortunately, we got pretty bad rupee luck. Usually I get a 20 off those guys. So one thing that I want to talk about in this room is if you were to go... If you were to go 1 pixel down, Zelda will pop up a text box. This sanctuary is just beyond that door. Pull the switch over there. It gives you a 50-50 choice of which switch to pull. However, if you come through the door and then immediately just hold right on the D-pad, you will skip that dialog box. But you want to pull this lever by holding down the A button and pulling down on the control pad, and then the door opens. The switch on the left drops a bunch of ropes, so you want to watch out. Okay, so here we are in the sanctuary. And so we're just going to skip all this dialogue with the priest and Zelda. Take a sip of coffee. I just got back from a 18-day stay in New York. Went and visited family. So my New York accent may come out pretty hard in this video. I noticed that I said coffee instead of coffee. Okay, so we're going to open up this chest for a heart container, and that refills our health. That heart container is optional, so if you're doing an any % run, you would just skip that, but this is a 100% run, so we're going to grab it. Okay, so that bombable wall that I mentioned in the castle basement, once you get the power glove, you want to come over here and lift the 2 white stones that are directly to Link's right. You want to lift those and then just push that gravestone. I don't think you have to run into it. I think you just push on it, and then that will drop you back into the castle basement, right in that room with the bombable walls, and then you can bomb them. There's some treasure in there. It's nothing crazy. I think it's just more bombs and like some arrows or something and some rupees. There's nothing critical in there, so we're never going to go back down there, but that's how you would get in there. Okay, so our first destination should be Sahasrara in Kakariko Village, but we know that he's not there, and you do not actually have to speak with him, because we're going to speak with him after we finish the first dungeon in the Light World, which was the East Palace, or Eastern Palace. I never remember if it's East or Eastern. Alright, so avoid these guys, these Octorok dudes. We're going to come over here to the east, and then we're going to go north. Alright, so once here in the canyons, yes, nice. We're going to go up this staircase. Again, avoid the Octoroks and all the, I think there's supposed to be eagle statues, I don't really know. Alright, and then this knight here, he comes alive once you get near him. 4 sword slashes will kill him. Nice, we got 5 arrows from him. And then we're going to hop down here, go up this staircase, and we can actually walk right behind this guy. And then we just have to hit this blue guard 3 times, refill your health if you need, walk up here, and welcome to the Eastern Palace. This is the first Light World dungeon. Okay, so in the Eastern Palace, we're going to lift up this pot, walk over the switch, and then there are these bags of bugs. Hello. 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 Okay, kill them. You don't have to kill them, but I'm just really fishing for rupees at this point in the game. All right, so avoid these cannonballs. Wow, that was insane luck. Whenever you hear a deep cannon shot, I'm waiting for it. I want to show it. Do you have to be down there? Nope. If you ever hear a deep one, it's going to be a large cannonball, so you just duck into one of the sides. All right, there's 100 rupees in here. This is totally optional, but we do need at least 110 rupees to enter the first Dark World dungeon, as well as 500 rupees to purchase the flippers, which are required for the second Dark World dungeon. So you do want to try to get as many rupees as you can early on. In a speed run, you would skip that chest because there's other ways to get rupees. But I just like to be safe in these sort of walkthroughs. Okay, so coming over here into this room, it looks totally abandoned. However, there are 4 Stalfos that will spawn. Wow, that was crazy. There are 4 Stalfos that will spawn, so you can just use the pots to kill them. Whenever you slash your sword, they will jump away. Can get a little annoying, so try to kill them against walls if you can. There is a way to enter this room and walk a certain path, so only 1 or 2 of them spawn. I've never been able to really execute that, so I'd never do it. This is either the compass or the dungeon map. I'm skipping that. But if you're looking for, I think that's the map. If that's the map or the compass, the other one is to the right when you get into the upper level of this room. So, when we got into this room originally, ooh, damn, good arrow luck. When we got into this room originally, we were on this upper path, and we went left. If you go to the right, that's where either the map or the compass is, but we're going to skip that. Okie doke. So coming in here, just walk to the center and then walk south. And then we're going to go up this staircase and into a dark room. We're looking for a floor switch in here. So the bad fairies are chasing you. Kill this bag of bugs. Hit the floor switch. Come in here. There are a whole lot of Stalfos in this room, so just be careful. But you want to lift up this pot. Oh, God. Lift up that pot. Grab the key. And then as soon as you get out, the bad fairies are going to be in the same position. So just walk south, kill this bag of bugs, and then use the key on this door. All right, so the next room has a speedrunning trick that I'm not going to show because it kind of breaks the room a little bit. So I'm going to show you the actual solution. The actual solution in this room is to kill all the enemies. So we have these 2 bags of bugs, and then we have this knight here. So just lift up a pot, and as soon as he starts walking towards you, you want to chuck the pot at him to kill him. Otherwise, in order to kill that thing, at this point, you need arrows, which we do not have. So lift up this pot now that the bad fairies have gone away since we killed everything. You lift up the pot. Well, hello, hello. Lift the switch. Reveals a chest for the big key. So now we can leave this room. Okay. And the big key opens those really big locks. Cool. All right, so now that we're back in the big chest room, we're going to come over here. And then as soon as we open the big chest to get the bow, some Stalfos skulls are going to fall. One thing that I do want to note is that in the Game Boy Advance version, when you open this chest and get the bow, you automatically get 30 arrows. In the SNES version, as well as the Switch Online version, that does not happen. So all those fall. Something else that I want to mention really quick, if you were to fall off these ledges into these cauldron-looking things, you would fall down onto a platform that has 2 fairies available for you. So if you have the bug catching net in a bottle, you can catch them in a bottle. Otherwise, they'll just refill your health. All right, so we're going to go through here. And then the knight on the left holds a key. So we're going to shoot him in the eye. Oh, it's the knight on the right. Oh my God, all my knowledge of all these years was wrong. All right, that on the right has a key. Go ahead and shoot him. If you instead choose to go into this room, it's just a room with a bunch of rupees. You can go for it if you want, but we're going to skip it. All right, so use the key that the knight dropped. And then go downstairs. Upstairs. Lift up that pot to reveal a switch. There is a switch underneath this knight here. Funny enough, you can actually just walk on it. You could just walk behind the knight and not have to kill him, but just to show you where the switch is. Go through the next room, and then this switch right here will open the door. The other 3 are false. Now, in this room, we have a red Armos Knight, or Imos Knight. I forget the names of these things. These things only die to arrows. Pots will not work, and you need 2 arrows to kill them. So we're going to walk up here, charge the sword, let it swing for one of the sickest kills in the game. And then we have 2 of these knights, so activate them, back up, shoot them twice each, and then you're good to go. If they close their eyes, you just got to wait a second for them to respawn. Okay, so now we're going to fight the first boss of the game, which is the Armos Knights. The Armos Knights, there are 6 of them. They each require 3 arrows. You want to be very, very careful with this fight because after you kill 5 of them, the final one will have its health reset, and then it will get very aggressive. These are passive enemies, meaning that they do not track you. They just do their own thing. They can damage you if they touch you, but they just move in a pattern. When you kill 5 and the 6th one turns red, then it will start actively attacking you. So what you want to make sure is that you want to make sure that you do not waste arrows in this fight. This should only take you 18 arrows, 3 for each. If you were to load 2, or if you were to shoot all of them twice and then kill 5 of them with the 3rd arrow, the 6th one will have its health reset. So you do not want to waste any arrows in this fight. It's not too bad. If you run out of arrows, you can always use your sword, but you don't want to do that. Okay. Oops, wasted an arrow. Wasted 2 arrows. Okay, so here he comes. Still only takes 3 arrows. So there you go. All right, and that's the first dungeon. So the first 2 bosses of this game are somewhat passive, like they're not actively attacking you. The land molas in the second dungeon move in a random pattern, but they are not actively attacking you. Moldworm is really the first one that kind of comes after you, but we'll deal with him later. Okay, so now that we have the first pendant, we can hop down these ridges and then walk into this building and finally speak with Sahasrara. And since we have the pendant, he will give us the Pegasus boots, which allow us to run and get through the game a lot faster. Okay, so there's a cracked wall here, and if we take out our sword and tap it, it sounds hollow. That's a solid wall. That's a hollow wall. You can use a bomb to blast this crack. However, if you notice that around the crack there is a circular crack, you can just bonk into those. So you can just tap A and up, and then bonk into the wall, and it pops open. So in here we have 100 rupees as well as 3 bombs. So that's very helpful. Now we can run out. And then our next destination is to get the Book of Mudora, which will translate Ancient Hylian and grant us access to the Desert Palace. And later on, it will grant us access to the 3 medallions in this game, which are all useful. Okie doke. Oh God, leave me alone. Okay. So we're just following this dirt path along. The game does a pretty good job of guiding you certain places. So if you just like look at the environment, you'll notice patterns. So this dirt path literally leads right into Kakariko Village. Okay, very good. So we're gonna come over here, and then we're gonna pop up here, and this is the library. And you'll notice a book on top of the shelf, so if you run into it and bonk it, it will fall off. Then you just touch it to grab it, and this is the Book of Mudora. Now it's time to head to the Desert Palace. A little Easter egg that I want to tell you about is in Tears of the Kingdom, if you have played it, or even if you haven't. There is a character, I forget his name, he's this buff himbo-looking dude, and on his belt, he carries a book. And he is responsible for translating Ancient Hylian, as well as, I believe, Zonai text in Tears of the Kingdom. But he has the Book of Mudora on his belt. It's a green book with yellow headings. It has to be the Book of Mudora. Or at the very least, an Easter egg. Okay, anyway. Enough of that. So we're going to go over here, and then we're going to follow this down. Pop over here. And then come over here. Watch out for the bird. Come over here. Come over here, come over here, and then come over here to the desert. Now you want to watch out for the cacti as well as the bombs on the ground, and we have these creepy little sandman dudes that will pop out. They like to boogie. You just run away from them. And all you gotta do is take out the Book of Mudora, press Y, and it says to open the way to go forward, make your wish here, and it will be granted. So Link makes a wish or prays or whatever, and then the Land Mola statues move. Okay, and that opens the way. All right, the Desert Palace is an interesting place. So we're going to immediately dash over here, then dash north to avoid the... forget their names. But anyway, charge your sword, then once this bug comes out of its hole, spin the sword to get rid of it. Then we're going to come over here. And then in this north room, there's going to be a key on top of a lamp. So you want to just bonk onto it. Grab it, then exit. And then we're going to go for the big key. So come over here to the east, then south. And then we're going to run in here. Kill these 2 bags of bugs. Kill this one. I believe this chest is the compass. I'm going to skip it. Come over here. Watch out for the cannons. Sometimes they're in a weird pattern. But other times you can just run right through them. Okey-doke. Come back through here. Pop up here. Go back to the west. We're basically going to go back near that room that had the key on the lamp. But instead we're going to go through this west door. Then we're going to lift up a pot to reveal a switch that opens the north door. And then now we have the big chest, which reveals the power glove. So now we can lift white stones, both small and large. For black stones, that requires the Titan's Mitt, which we will get in the Dark World. All right, so now that we have the power glove, we can just hug this right wall and then run all the way down and avoid the enemies. That door to the north is opened by pushing this block here. It reveals a fairy fountain in case you need health refill or if you want to put some fairies in a bottle. Okay, so over here, we're going to grab the first heart piece right here. It's the only way to get that one. You have to go through the Desert Palace. I don't think it's accessible from the Swamp of Sorrows later on. But now that we have the power glove, we can lift up these rocks and enter the second half of the dungeon. Okay, so we're going to push this block here. And then we're going to get a key out of this pot here. And then we're going to just use that to unlock the door. You can run into doors on certain angles and just keep running through. Otherwise, you bonk into locked doors. All right, let's kill this one. Oh, hello. Kill this one. Kill this one. Kill this one. Grab that. And then go through. I really hate this room. This room sometimes sucks the life out of me, so just be careful. Yep, we got bad bug patterns here. Okay. Whew. The key is under this pot this time. And then in this room, we need to light all 4 torches in order to move the wall. So I recommend doing it in this pattern. This way, the knight will just sort of walk around you. And then if you're a little scared, just walk to the right and let it finish out its time. Just like that. Okay, so this fight is the Land Mola. There's really no quick way to kill these guys. You just gotta wait for them. When there are 3 Land Mola active, or 3 or 2, they will shoot rocks out of their holes when they pop out. They shoot out in 4 diagonal directions. This changes when there's only 1 Land Mola left. When there's 1 Land Mola left, it will shoot rocks out in 8 directions. And there is still a way to avoid it. It's a little difficult, but I'll try to demonstrate it. So luckily, these guys do not reset their health when there's only 1 remaining, which is very helpful. Charged sword slashes do not do any bonus damage on these guys for some reason. At least as far as I remember, they don't. Ow. Oh, come on. Okay, great. So this one, I'm not sure if it's going to do it yet. Yes, okay, so that one shot 8 rocks out. So what you can do is you can actually line yourself up just off kilter. I demonstrated it poorly there, but you can line yourself up just slightly between 2 directions, like a specific pixel, and do a charged sword spin. And then as soon as the Land Mola comes out, let go of B. Your sword spin will hit the Land Mola to deal damage, but it will also propel you away from the rocks. It's a nice way to safely fight these guys. I demonstrated it poorly there, just because my sword hit the Land Mola before I could let it go. But that's generally the way to do it. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3 Light World dungeons down. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to come into this cave right here. And then we're going to get the second heart piece. In order to get this, you need a bomb. This is not a cracked wall that you can run into. So you're going to take out a bomb, and then if you look closely, you'll notice that the rocks making up this wall are slightly different. And if you were to poke it, you would hear that it's hollow. Hyrule has a lot of old men in caves. I don't know what that's about. They just never let go of that tradition. I mean, Majora's Mask even... I don't think there were old men in caves in Ocarina of Time, but in Majora's Mask, the bean salesman is in a cave. He's in a grotto. Anyway, once you have that piece of heart, you're going to come down here, ride along this ridge, and then now we are going to head towards Death Mountain. Okay, so we're gonna come up here. Ooh, hello. Okay, come up here. Ooh. Come up here. Come through here. here. Boom. Okay, so I'm actually going to make a really quick pit stop. I don't ever really do this, but I want to show you again how to get back into the castle basement in case you want to blow up that wall. You know, just as a treat, I'll actually do the whole thing. So we're going to come into the graveyard here. We're going to lift up these 2 stones, and then we're just going to push this to reveal a pit. And then, hey, here we are back in the castle basement. So we can just run into this wall, open it, and then inside is some treasure. I think it's just arrows, bombs, and rupees. Arrows, rupees, bombs. Okay, and then you come up here, bonk this, and then just exit the same way you did before. That's a really common question that I get in my comments. Is how do I get back there? How do I open those walls? That's how you do it, folks. It's brilliant world design. Okay. So you can speak with the priest to refill your hearts. I did actually take a hit down there, so that was kind of worth doing. Oh boy. Okay, lift up that rock, walk into this cave, and now we get to make our way towards Death Mountain. Inside of this cave system, we're going to run into an old man, so just follow this path, and he's going to be right here. While the old man is following you, you will not be able to run. He's very old and cannot keep up, and he also doesn't have Pegasus boots of his own. They are a treasure of the royal family passed down between the generations, and he's not part of the royal family. Although, technically, I think he is. Oh, no, I guess not. His granddaughter is a maiden, not actually royal. Anyway. All right, keep following this path, and you can exit. And then we get to one of the most annoying screens in the entire game, which is Death Mountain. So... okay, that's actually pretty good. So, the old man will give us the magic mirror for bringing him back to his cave, and then, I don't know if he can actually walk through that little guy. Probably can. Yep, he can. Cool. So, when you hit those enemies, they turn to stone, and they can block your path, so they're very annoying. Couple that with all the boulders falling down Death Mountain, and it can make for a pretty miserable time. Oh boy. Okay. Great. Go up this big ladder. Come down here. Come down here. Warp into the Dark World, and then you will be transformed into a bunny. And if you are in the Dark World and this is still happening to you, it's because you did not get the treasure in the Tower of Hera, which is the 3rd dungeon. But we will get it, don't worry. Go ahead and pick up the 3rd heart piece of the game. And then we can start making our way to the dungeon. Welcome to the Tower of Hera. On the Game Boy Advance version, this is called the Mountain Tower. So we're going to hit this switch, and then we don't have the boomerang, so we're just going to hit this switch this way. You don't have to do that, it just makes this a little bit quicker. Grab this key, and then we're going to use the mirror to warp back to the entrance. If you use the mirror in a dungeon, it will always do that. In Ocarina of Time, they moved that functionality to Furore's Wind. Okay, go ahead and hit that switch, and then now that we have the key, we're going to come up here. I believe that chest is the dungeon map. It could be the compass, though. I can't entirely remember. But you use the key into this room. And then this is a enemy tile room where we just kind of have to deal with it. There's no way to make this go any faster other than kill the tiles. And I don't even think it makes it go any faster if you kill the tiles. I think it's always on the timer. So I just stand here slashing my sword. Oops. Think of it like a batting cage. You're just getting some good timing practice, you know? Okay. In this next room are going to be some mini land molas. They are very annoying, so you really need to be careful with these guys. These guys move in a random pattern, and they are quick. So once you hit this crystal switch, you want to aim for the south door, and then try to get in here. Okay, you'll notice that the Stalfos in this room have red skulls. That is because if you slash them, they will throw a bone at you, so they do counterattack, so you gotta be pretty careful with these guys. Light all 4 torches to reveal a chest. Inside of this chest is the big key, and then once you're done, you want to warp back to the entrance, or you can go back the long way, but this is just easier. Okay, so now that we have the big key, we can make our way up. And then we need to push these guys down the pits or kill them manually, but this is quicker. Pushing them down the pits does not count as a death, so if you were to come back into this room, which in all likelihood we probably will because I'm bad, they will respawn. Otherwise, the ones that you actually kill will stay dead. So you want to hit the floor switch to change the floor pattern, and then we're going to move through here. I actually have the wrong floor pattern up, or the wrong switches up, which is a little unfortunate. Okay, so we can actually just skirt down here to leave the blue switches up. No big deal, just push yourself into that wall, and you can walk right along it. Otherwise, if you're afraid of doing that, just hit the crystal switch. Oh, missed. Okay, cool. So, the big chest is right here. If this was a speedrun, I would do a bomb jump. However, I'm not going to use any glitches, or any major glitches, really. So, we're just going to wait. So, we have these Dodongos here, shooting fire, doing their thing. Nice refill. Come up here, and then don't forget to get the big chest. This is how you get the big chest. You want to press this star switch here to change the floor pattern, and then drop into this pit from the top. You have to jump into it from the top. Otherwise, you will land right on the floor switch and change the pattern and fall down. Open up the chest to get the Moon Pearl. The Moon Pearl will allow Link to maintain his human form in the Dark World, so no more transforming into a bunny. If you go to the Dark World and you are still transforming into a bunny, that is why. You do not have the Moon Pearl. Okay, now it's time for probably the most annoying boss in the entire game, Moldorm. But all Light World dungeons have fairy fountains in them. So if you were to fall down this top pit right there, just fall down this one right here, you will land in the fairy fountain, and there will be a warp tile down there. Press that warp tile and you'll end up right back up here. So it's a nice little fairy fountain for you. These pots all contain hearts. I recommend going into this fight with full health. It can be very annoying. Okay, couple things about Moldorm here. He does move at a random pattern. However, eventually he will start honing in on you, and then you gotta attack his tail. His tail is the only weak point. It's the only thing you can do. Now, a mechanic that we haven't really spoken about in this game just yet, and I will go over this again in the next dungeon, or 2 dungeons from now, is that if you hold B and charge the sword, you start to strafe. Otherwise, you walk around and around and around. If you hold out the sword, you strafe, facing whatever direction the sword is pointing. This is extremely helpful, especially in this fight, because if you were to hold your sword out like this while Moldorm is charging toward you, it will simply bonk you into a wall, and even if he starts to bonk you off a ledge, if he does it and you just hit the edge, you can actually just walk right back onto the platform. I'm not going to deliberately demonstrate this mechanic. This fight is so annoying, but this can help you maneuver with this boss, and if you see him charging towards you, just charge your sword, and then he will just sort of push you around, and you won't take damage. Instead, you'll be able to actually get back off the ledges. Be very careful in this fight. You do not want to fall down the middle pit. The middle pit will send you basically back to the start of the dungeon, which isn't the end of the world, but it just takes a while to get back up here. All right. So, you know he's down to 1 HP when he starts moving oh, God! When he starts moving very fast. I'm actually glad that happened. I mean, I'm not thrilled, but, you know, a lot of people, when they watch my walkthroughs, are like, oh, man, like, how's anybody supposed to be able to do this? And it's like, well, I make a lot of edits, I make a lot of cuts, I only show you the attempt where I killed the boss. But, you know, in a full walkthrough, it's live-ish, so... See what I mean? Like, he bonked me, but I just was able to walk right back off the ledge. It's hard to do, but it is effective. Okay, here we go. So, in this final phase of the... Oh, my God, he hit me on the side. He didn't bonk my sword. In that final phase of the fight, that strafing is really, really helpful. Like I said, this is the worst boss in the entire game. Oh, my God, that red one chunked me. That sucked. This is the most annoying boss in the whole game. It just is. There's no getting around Moldorm. I think there might be ways to, like, kind of manipulate his AI to get him to do certain things or, like, you know, come at you more often so he's more predictable, but I've never learned it, and it just seems kind of impossible. There you go. See, he bonked me. He bonked me into this wall, but my sword was still active, so as soon as he left, the sword hit him. So it's really effective in that final phase to do that. The key thing with Moldorm is don't get greedy, because he's just going to push you off the ledge. It's really the whole thing. Alrighty, so now that we have all 3 pendants, we can make our way to the Lost Woods and reclaim the Master Sword. However, before we do that, we are going to get piece of heart number 4, which is right down here. You need to jump off of this specific spot to the left of this lip to land on this platform. And then we can go inside of the mountain. And then we're going to come over here, just run up. Whoops. And then we are going to go up this staircase. Very good. That should be heart container number 8 for you if you've been following along. If you need fairies, they're over here. I don't have a bottle yet, so I can't really do anything with those. Oh my god, I'm bonking all over the place. Alrighty, then we're just going to follow this wall down. Hit any mini Moldorms along the way. Hop down here. Start coming up this ridge, and then instead of going up the ladder, we're going to go through this cave. This cave does have an exit. It can be a little tough to find, but as long as you follow this path, you will get there. Okay, you can follow this wall, but eventually you're going to hit the end, and if you bonk into the wall at the end, you're going to hit a pit and then get brought back to the top. So just stop your run at some point. Okay, so sometimes those birds respawn, so I recommend charging your sword there, otherwise you're going to take a hit. Oh boy, a bee. Alright, we're going to come over here into the Lost Woods, and we're going to make our way towards the Master Sword. So the Lost Woods are a bit of a maze, but I'll help you figure it out, no problem. Come down here, come over here. We're going to get, oh wow, bomb under a bush, that's crazy. We're going to get the magic mushroom on the way out. Okay, come over here, and then go up this short log. And you're going to be in the Sacred Meadow. And as long as you have all 3 pendants, you'll be able to press A over here and lift the Master Sword. Suddenly, Sahasrara contacts you telepathically. Link, it is extraordinary that you won the Master Sword that makes evil retreat. With this shining sword, I believe you can deflect the wizard's evil powers. The destiny of this land is in your hands. Please, Link. Okay, so in the Game Boy Advance version, your hearts refill there because they want to immediately show you one of the secrets of the Master Sword, which is that if you were to slash the sword while you have full health, you will shoot beams out of it. This has been brought all the way up through Tears of the Kingdom. Whenever the Master Sword is in the game, typically it does something special like that. I think in Ocarina of Time, they just gave it the spin slash. They didn't give it beams. But in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, if you use the Master Sword and you hold the right trigger to throw it, as long as you have full health, it'll shoot a beam instead of being thrown. Okay, anyway, go ahead and grab the magic mushroom. We will use this item later on to turn it into the magic powder. And then we're going to come over here, and then we're going to run right into this crop of bushes here, and then we're going to go down the middle one and reveal piece of heart number 5. Oh, sorry about that. I was reading my own notes. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can now proceed to what is effectively Light World Dungeon 4, and it's the Hyrule Castle Tower. So after we retrieved the Master Sword, Zelda contacted us telepathically, told us that the soldiers had come to take her away. If you were to go to the Sanctuary at this point, you will find that the priest has died, and he will basically vanish and go to heaven more or less. Although I think in the credits he comes back to life. I can't be certain. So yeah, now that we have full health, the Master Sword shoots beams. Those beams are deal damage equivalent to the fighter sword, or the first sword of the game, the white one. So On blue guards, it'll take 3 sword slashes, just like that. But the Master Sword does double damage, so it's always better to just use the sword. It's not bad for, like, killing Keese or whatever, you know, things that die in one hit. But otherwise, as well as, like, batting things away from you. But otherwise, it's not worth relying on. Okay, so we're going to come out this exit here. And now that we have the Master Sword, we can slash this barrier. And it breaks, and then we can go inside to the Hyrule Castle Tower. So in this second room, what I recommend doing is immediately turn around, face this door, charge the sword, and then wait for these 2 flail knights to come toward you. And then once they sort of merge into one, you want to just back up, let the sword fly, and then 2 full sword slashes will kill them. Charge the sword again, come into this next room, guide these guys into the corner, and then once they are both dead, a chest pops up with a key. All right, so this room is dark, but don't worry about it. You can actually just walk out into this room. So this room is a pipe maze, so just follow this path, and you'll be able to get out, no problem. If you'd like, you can take out your torch, light up the room a little bit, and do yourself a little bit of a favor. It's not worth lighting all the torches. It doesn't give you anything except, like, full light for a couple seconds, but this is plenty good enough. All right, open up this chest, and then get the key, and then start following this path here. I'm going to go all the way down and all the way over here. If you were to come over here and push this block opens the entrance door, not this door. So that's what that block is for. All right, so once again in this room, we're just going to avoid everything and walk up the staircase. And then I think this room is empty anyway. Oh, no, there are some guards in here. Go through here. And then we have a precarious room here. There's going to be a couple guards, so I do recommend killing these guys just because they can get pretty annoying. I have no... Oh, I thought there was a door. I was going to say, I don't know what's in that room, but there's no door there, so never mind. All right, you're going to kill this guard here, the guy with the bow. He always drops a key, and you use that key on the north door. And then we're finally back in daylight. So, funny enough, the eyeball keys in this room do not count towards the enemy count in this room. So, it's just the guards that you have to kill. You do not have to kill the keys, and I'm going to exemplify that here. Well, I killed one of them. But yeah, so you don't have to kill the keys. All right, so this room can be a little tricky, especially if you get weird luck on the guard movement. I got really lucky there. Oh, man, I must have been a pixel off of that double sword slash. But anyway, kill those 2 to reveal the exit. And then you only need to kill this guy. He drops a key. You can get that key and leave. Okay, so then in this room, again, just ignore everything. Exit here. And then in this room, we're going to be blocked by some statues, but the left one moves. Just go ahead and move that. Hello. And then this is the final, like, challenging room, but we still have full health, so this is where the beam comes in. If you don't have the boomerang, you can use the sword beams to push the guards off the ledges. Whew. Okay. Time for Ganon. So he's going to do his, you know, evil villain sort of thing here and zap Princess Zelda into the Dark World and put her inside of a crystal. Okay, so we're going to follow him, and we're just going to cut down the middle curtain to reveal the boss room. All right, so this is Ganon, and basically we need to deflect the beams back at him. So the first beam is always the correct beam, or it's a ball, so just hit it with your sword. From here on out, it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not it's a ball that we can deflect back at him, or a set of blue balls that we need to avoid. Yeah, you can just avoid those. If you hit them, they break apart, and you'll undoubtedly, like, take a hit, so it's tough. All right, so that's 3, and then after 4 movements, he's going to move to the center of the room. You'll notice that he is no longer turning to face me. If he's in the center of the room and not turning to face you, he's going to shoot lightning at you. All right, so he only needs 1 more ball. I believe it's 5 hits. It'd be crazy if it happened. All right, see how he's facing me even though he's in the middle of the room? That means it's going to be a normal attack. Oh, I guess he needs 6. Okay, my bad. I thought it was 5. It's been a long time since I played this. Boom! 2-cycle Ganon. That is perfect luck, basically. All right. So once you hit him the 6th time, you get transported on top of the Pyramid of Power into the Dark World. Okay, so Sahasrara tells you that he's communicating through you, tells you that Ganon made a wish, and then it was the Golden Land, but now, since Ganon touched the Triforce, it's an evil land. It's your typical Zelda story. I always thought that in the background there, that was Link's house. I think it's supposed to be Ganon's tower, though, but I always like to think it was like Link's house somewhere in the distance, like the Light World was out there, but it's undoubtedly Ganon's tower. And as a kid, I always thought this looked like a beautiful sunset, but it's definitely just some evil-looking sky. I think Ocarina of Time did a nice job of exemplifying what this probably was supposed to look like. All right, so we're going to please make this old man's wishes come true and rescue the maidens and Zelda. Okay, so here is the Dark World. On top of the Pyramid of Power, if we were to come over here and drop off of this ledge specifically, we can come up here and get heart piece number 6. So we're going to come over here. If you ever need a fairy, you can bonk into this tree right here, and a fairy will come out. Also, if you pull on this statue, you'll always get 20 rupees. So it's just like a nice little thing that they're always going to give you. It's good for like repeat Ganon attempts, you know, if you ever need to do that. Anyway, we're going to make our way to the Dark Palace, which is exactly where the Eastern Palace was. So it's more or less the same exact pathway there. However, it's going to be blocked by a hedge maze that we have to get through. So just keep following this path, follow the arrows right here, get through the hedge maze. There are like walls in there that you kind of have to just walk around, so just feel your way around there and you'll get through it. All right, so this is the hedge maze. You want to enter right here, then keep walking down to the right, and then once you come out the other side, Kiki the monkey will ask you for 10 rupees. You want to pay him the 10 rupees, and then you need to be very careful because if you get hit while Kiki is following you, he will run away. Then you have to pay him the 10 rupees again. When you bring Kiki to the entrance here, he will charge you 100 rupees to jump up onto the roof and hit the switch to open the Dark Palace. It's the only way in. I also don't really know why there's monkeys or gorillas outside this dungeon. The boss is not a gorilla. I don't understand, but maybe that's why Kiki knows how to get into it. Okay, here is the Dark Palace, and I'm going to do this dungeon a bit differently than I do any other dungeon in this game. And the difference is that I'm going to show you where every single chest is in this game, because it is possible. It's not possible to get like stuck in this dungeon. You cannot get stuck in any dungeon in this game, meaning like you can't use a key in the wrong place. However, it is very easy to use keys like inefficiently in this dungeon and then get kind of lost. So I'm going to show you where every single chest in this dungeon is in this dungeon. It's the only dungeon I'm going to do it in. Okay, so we're going to start off. We're going to run to the west, hit that floor switch, open this door, lift the pot, kill the mini Helmasaur, and then go down. And then we're going to lift up the pot in the bottom left. Watch out for the flame spitters. Open this chest for a key. Use the mirror to go back to the entrance. Okay, now you could just go up and start finishing the dungeon, but I'm going to show you where all the chests are, so we're going to go to the right. Go ahead and kill this Helmasaur. They have a pretty good chance of dropping fairies if you ever need them. Helmasaurs have good drops. Alrighty. Then we're going to hit this warp tile to go down here. And then on the south side of this room, you'll notice a crack in the wall, so go ahead and bonk into it, and then just walk in. There are a couple of jellyfish enemies. This is where the sword beams are really effective. These die in one hit. Another cracked wall to bonk into here. And then there are 3 mimics in this room. The green ones take 1 arrow each. The red one takes 2 arrows each, very similar to the knights in the Eastern Palace. So 1, 1, and then you'll notice that they mimic your movements, or they mirror your movements. So you want to guide them into the arrows. If you look directly at the red mimics, they will shoot like a beam at you. You got to be careful of that. Okay, avoid the spikes and the jellyfish, and then go upstairs. All right, so we got a couple jellyfish here. And again, I'm going to open this chest just to show you what it is. It's the dungeon map. And then this is where people often get tripped up. It looks like you're done in this room, right? You don't have the magic hammer, so you can't knock down the pegs yet. And it seems like the only way out is to warp out or take the long way. That's not true. This crack in the wall is hollow. Solid? Hollow. You cannot bonk into these types of cracks. The only bonkable cracks are the ones that have circles around it. So for this, you do need a bomb. So you want to plant the bomb there. I'm also going to plant a bomb on the other side. But right here, this is a chest with a key. This is the key that everyone misses. It's very easy to miss. But that's the one that you're looking for, probably, if you're lost. Inside of this room is a fairy fountain, so go ahead and bottle some fairies if you need. I don't have bottles, so I can't do it, so just warp back to the entrance. Okay, and then from here on out, we're going to play through it mostly the same as we do in all my walkthroughs. All right, go ahead and open that up. Come over here. Push this tile, or this block, into the pit. We're going to open this chest for a key. I guess now I'm technically doing this inefficiently, but it doesn't matter. All right, we're going to come over here, and then we're going to bomb the crack on the floor here. And you'll notice that there is a pattern in the pit, and that pattern indicates that there's actually a floor down there that we can drop into. Very good. So now we're up on this catwalk here. We can use the key that we got, open this door. And then we're going to open up this chest for the big key. And then once we do that, we're going to drop off of this ledge. We're going to lift up this pot, hit the switch. It's going to cause some guys to drop. They actually drop no matter what. It's not caused by the switch. Take out the mirror, open this chest, and then mash the mirror to go back to the entrance. Otherwise, you can use the warp tiles there, and you'll end up on the right side of the dungeon. But it's faster to do it that way. Okay, so now we're going to go back over here. And then we are going to use the arrows on these ledges. They will propel us forward. We're going to come over here. I'm going to attempt a speedrunning trick once. I just always have to attempt this for good luck. I've done this twice in my life. Nah. You can do a bomb jump and get into that ledge. It's extremely difficult. I've done it twice in my life. I just always have to try it. Ignore that, though. That was just for me. All right, so there's going to be another Helmasaur at the end of this bridge. Nice, he dropped a couple rupees for us. All right, so we're going to come over here, and then I'm deliberately going to get lost here. I'm going to use a key. So here's the compass, and then I'm going to use the key on this door here. And then you would think, oh, there's a key in this chest. No, it's 5 rupees. So now we're, like, quote-unquote stuck, but actually we're not. So if you were to go south, you would just end up in that big room again. However, we can just walk back through this door. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. And then this room has a bunch of rupees. Oh, wow. I did not mean to miss those. In this chest is a single solitary arrow. In this chest is the next key that we want. So you can go ahead and collect rupees if you want. We have plenty to finish the game with, so we really don't have to worry about it. All right, so now that we have a key, we can open up the door over here. And then this is a pipe maze in the dark with dodongos, so kind of difficult to get through. I'm going to be very careful because these guys stop and spit flames in every direction. God. Okay, over here. This chest has bombs. You do need a bomb to get out of this room, or to get into the next room, so it's a good idea to get those if you're running low on bombs. Come over here. Oh, God. Can somebody, if this guy drops a heart, no, I was going to say, if he drops a heart and I don't have the boomerang, that'd be funny. Okay, so make sure you get that key. You need that key. Then you come over here, and then we're going to plant a bomb in front of this crack over here. That's going to explode. And now we are on this little ledge here with the big chest, which has the magic hammer. So now we can knock those laughing pegs into the ground, as well as pegs of any variety. Warp back to the dungeon entrance, and now it's time to finish up. So if you're running low on hearts, you don't have to worry about it too much because there is a series of pots with 3 hearts underneath it that we're going to grab. Wow. I was afraid that jellyfish was going to activate, so that's why I walked around it. All right, so I'm going to show you a little trick here. The real intended way to do this is to use the arrows on the floor to move around onto the top ledge and then jump onto this big platform that has all these enemies on it and the bounce cushion. And then you want to use an arrow or the boomerang to hit the crystal switch. You can skip all that. You just want to align yourself right about here, shoot an arrow, that hits the crystal switch, and then you can just jump over here. It's way easier to do that than deal with those enemies. Okay, so we're going to lift up these pots. This one has a switch underneath it. These are the 3 hearts I was talking about to refill your health. And then you're going to come over here. You're going to push this statue up. And then we're going to get into a room with 3 mimics once again. So 1, 2. Guide this one into the arrows very carefully. This way it doesn't look at you. Very good. And then we're going to shoot this. I'll show you a really cool trick. You can actually bonk into the wall and jump over this spike. Just like that. I just think that's interesting. Like the real, so you want to shoot an arrow into the eye of the statue to reveal the wall, but the efficient way to do this dungeon is to have those red tiles down before you even enter this room. This way you can just bonk over the spike, bonk to the wall, jump over the spike, and then keep moving. Anyway, go down the staircase, and now that you have the magic hammer, you can hit the tiles as well as flip these enemies over and actually kill them. So it is always better to hit those with the hammer, otherwise it will cost you 2 sword slashes, and those things can get very aggressive, so always recommend hitting with the hammer. Okay, I was just thinking about when I want to talk about something, but I'll talk about it later. Okay, so hit that switch, make sure you have the hammer out, because we're going to have to deal with a bunch of turtles. So bonk it over, hit it again. Okay. Okay, I hate this room. Okay. Cool. So, we have 4 more turtles to deal with, so we're going to push this block down. I think in the Game Boy Advance version, there's a turtle in this room. If you're playing the Game Boy Advance version, tell me if there is, because I have a weird memory of there being one in that room. Anyway, we're going to walk up here, bonk these turtles, but wait for the next set, and then bonk them at the same time. This way they flip over onto each other. Okay, so we talked about this mechanic with Moldorm, but it's even more important with this boss. When you hold the sword out and charge it, you strafe around. Now, there's a somewhat hidden mechanic with this mechanic. So there's like a sub-mechanic. If you hold B while charging the sword, and then you press A, you can use your sub-weapon at the same time. So just keep holding B, and then press Y to use the hammer. And you can do this while strafing around. This is incredibly useful on this boss. And frankly, I wouldn't kill this boss any other way. Okay, so just hold out the sword, and then start hitting the mask. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to let these balls do their thing just to avoid them. Get into a bit of a better position. Oh, I forgot that it was 2 sides. Whoopsie. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mask comes off, and then you need to shoot 8 arrows into the mask, or into the jewel. Oh my god, we almost had it perfect. Okay, that would have been so sick. So when the mask comes off, he gets very aggressive. That's why you want to make sure like you get that last piece of the mask off when he's in a central position. This way he doesn't like push himself into a wall, and then the tail swipe gets real awkward. Try to keep him centered. The really interesting thing is that once the boss is dead, these spikes become inactive. I actually don't even know if they're active throughout the fight. Somebody tell me, but yeah. Okay, so we got our first crystal. Ganon was the boss of Thieves. Okay. The boss. He was the boss. The boss. All right. Come on. They're so chatty, these maidens. They're so chatty. They give you all the lore, but there's not a lot of lore in this game, so they end up repeating themselves. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Okay. So, now that we have finished the Dark Palace, the first Dark World dungeon, we now have the Magic Hammer, which grants us access to almost the rest of the game. So, from here on out, we're going to do things slightly out of order. If you were to look at your map, you will notice that the crystals have numbers. This is the suggested order that you do things in. This is not the order we are going to do things in. So, we're going to do a bit of a we're gonna get a few heart pieces, a couple bottles. We're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff, and then the next dungeon we're doing is number 4, Thieves Town. Okay, so we're gonna come over here, kill these. I think those are the bags of bugs. What are the other things called? Popos? I don't know. Enemy names in Zelda's, I don't know where they come from. I wonder if they were just mistranslations that were like, well, we're committed to it 40 years later. I don't know. But the enemy names are strange in this game. Okie doke. So we're going to come over here. And now, because we have the hammer, we were able to knock down the pegs on this bridge. That was flashy. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the rest of the game. Okay. So we're going to come over here, and then we're going to dip down here really quick. We don't need to do this necessarily because we have 639 rupees, but in case you don't, you can get the quickest 300 rupees in the game by going into this cave. Simply talk to Peter Rabbit here. Says, take some rupees, but keep it between us, and he gives you 300. And you're kind of good for the rest of the game there. You don't really have to do any rupee collecting after that. Okay, so I have 939. Whoops, hello. All right, now it's time to get the shovel and the flute. So we're going to come over here. Come down here. Watch out for that tree. It is alive, and if you bonk into its nose, it will shoot a bomb at you. All right, then we're going to talk to this guy here. He is the flute-playing kid in the Forest Grove in the Light World. In the Dark World, he's been transformed into this creature. So what we're going to do is we are going to set a warp point on this specific tile right here. We're going to warp. We're going to step to the left, dig the hole next to it. It's going to push the flute into the warp, and then we just walk into it, grab the flute, and because we're still invincible while that's happening, we will not warp back until it's necessary. Otherwise, you've got to sit there and listen to the entire song and be stuck, which is a quicker way to do that. All right, so we're going to come down here. You're going to walk into this group of bushes, warp, and then now you have access to this cave, and this should be heart piece number 7. Great. All right, warp back. Warp back to the Dark World. Okay, and now it is time for the worst minigame in the game, the digging game. So the digging game costs 80 rupees. You have 30 seconds to dig as many holes as you can, and there is a heart piece in here. So it's just gonna take a while. I'm warning you now. It's just gonna take a while. So basically, as soon as you get into the area, timer starts, you start digging, and you just pray for the best. Literally, all you can do is just pray. So, at the very least, you hope to make your money back. Oh my god! First try? Dude! First try! Holy Jesus! First try! Oh my god! Okay, next piece of heart. That's crazy! Next piece of heart. This is a hollow wall. You can run into it. Or use a bomb. I cannot believe that. So these two kids are twins that are fighting, so they sealed up their rooms. I think that's insane. Speak to the old lady. She says if you can reach the goal within 15 seconds. Oh god, I'm really messing this up. If you can reach the goal within 15 seconds, you get a piece of heart. I may have just made this. It might be 12. 9. Wow, okay, sure. You can do that as fast as 6, I think. I cannot believe we got first try digging game. That is unbelievable. Okay. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to warp. Stay in the light world. Oh, my God. That's nuts. Oh, wow. I don't know the last time I got a first try digging game. That's insane. Okay, so we're going to come over here. And then we're going to go into this house via the back. It's the back of the bar. Then inside of this chest is our first bottle. And then with a bottle in tow, you can enter this house, speak with the sick boy, and then he will give you the bug catching net since you have a bottle. If you do not have a bottle, he will not give it to you. Okay. Cool. So I'm just so blown away that we got that. So now that we have the flute, you can play the flute at the weather vane. And then a dodo bird, I think it's a dodo bird, or duck, I don't know. It'll come out of the weather vane. It's not a rooster because roosters don't fly and it doesn't look like a rooster. The weather vane is definitely a rooster. This thing is not a rooster. It looks like a duck. Who knows? Anyway, now we have the flute and now we can warp around the light world. The flute does not work in the dark world save for one specific point in the game. Okay, so speak with this guy, the bottle salesman. He will sell you your second bottle for 100 rupees. Let's go ahead and grab that. And then we're going to come up this staircase, and we're going to get the next piece of heart. I just can't believe it, dude. I cannot believe we did that. First try. Okay, so this cracked wall here, we plant a bomb. Each of these chests has 20 rupees, so you can grab those if you want, but we are flush with cash, so we don't need those. There's also 30 rupees down here. All right, grab that. That's piece of heart number 10. Right? Yep. Holy Jesus. First try digging game. That's unbelievable. All right, jump into this well here. And then you want to take a bomb. Throw it. It blows up this wall here. You don't have to throw it in that position. It's just what I like to do. Grab these. Open that up. Piece of heart number 11. And now we're going to do the second worst piece of heart in the game, the chest opening game. It's located in the dark world. And you spend 30 rupees to open 2 chests at a room full of chests. There is a way in the American version to get it on the first try. You use a music cue. I'm going to attempt to do that, but we'll see. I mean, if I get first try both, this may as well be a submitted speedrun. This is insane. If you ever need a magic refill, bonk into this tree. It always drops a full magic decanter. Whoops, take out the magic hammer. Knock down that peg, lift up that stone, and then warp into the dark world. Charge through here. Oh! It's always tough. All right, we're going to come into... So what's weird is the dungeon name is Thieves Town, but this area is also called Thieves Town. All right, so come into this house. We're going to do the chest opening game. Ha! Oh my god, the music cue. Oh, wow, dude. Oh my god, this is insane. Pull down on the pull down on the door on the gargoyle statue to reveal the dungeon entrance for Thieves Town. Okay. Wow, Thieves Town is one of the quickest dungeons in the game. The big key is in that chest that you saw there. These the chains of fire balls, only the first fireball in the chain is active. The other ones you can just walk through. So we're going to use that to our advantage a couple times. Oh my god. I really might submit this as a speedrun on SRL. Oh my fucking god. All right, get the big key, and then we'll continue with the dungeon. All right, go through here, and then we're going to go up this staircase here. And then we're going to go to the northeast corner of this room and use the big key to open this door. Ow. Okay, just run straight up. You should kill the Stalfos and then lift up that pot for a key. Come through here. And then this room with the conveyor belts is going to be a little tough, but just navigate it carefully. Come through here. This is the hellway. I am not aligned. Yep. That was not going to work. If you line yourself up perfectly along the middle lane, you'll be able to actually like get through here unscathed. It's really tough to do. I'm not good at it. All right, lift up this pot and then throw it to hit the crystal switch. If you hit the slime or the Zol, it's okay. Just walk down and hit the switch manually. All right, lift up this pot to reveal a switch. And then we're going to run all the way to the east. Be careful of these crickets. They are scarier than they appear. Hold your sword to charge it. Oh, God. Yeah, they deal, like, weird damage. There's bombs in this chest if you need bombs, but we are going to bomb this crack in the floor here. And then that shines a light down into a room, and we need to bring the maiden into that room. Bring her into the light, and then the boss is revealed. Okay, so now it's time to go get the boss, as well as the dungeon treasure, which is the Titan's Mitt. So wait for these to bonk, and then you just go. Ow. I'm kind of fishing for heart pieces here. Damn. Those guys can drop fairies. I'm a little worried about my heart count, if I'm being honest. This is like the toughest dungeon in the game, even with extra hearts. Like, any percent, this dungeon is scary. Alright. Cool. So hopefully these guys drop hearts for me. Nope. Yeah! Nice. Okay, so this is the maiden, but it's really the boss blind. Make sure to get that key. You need that. Then we're going to come over here. And then we're going to go through this door. Take out the hammer really quick. Knock down that peg. Open the chest for the Titan's Mitt. And then leave. The floor will start cracking and breaking away, so you need to get through that room quickly. Okay. Ooh, Zol, give me a heart. Wow, I just had to say it. Okay, cool. So, I feel a little bit better about this now. All right. So, the light shaft that we revealed when we bombed that floor is in this room here. So, you need to bring the maiden into the light. It reveals the boss blind, and you need to hit it 3 times, 3 times. So, the boss comes out. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Starts moving around. The boss will resurrect. 1, 2, 3. All right, we gotta do that one more time with all these heads flying around. This is a scary boss. Ah. Got him. Only got hit twice. Wow. Okay, so that's blind. It's a tough fight, especially if you don't have a lot of hearts. But just go ahead and get the heart container and the crystal. From here on out, things only get easier because we're going to have a ton of hearts at this point. $117.43. Okay, so we're still not ahead of my previous walkthrough that I did for this, the stream that I did years ago. But goddamn, first try digging game and first chest game is nuts. The music cue. So the way that chest game works is that every chest is like a slot machine, and the reels are always running, but they run in a pattern. And so if you use a music cue to open the chest on a specific frame, the piece of heart will always be there. I forget who discovered that, but they're godlike. Okay, so this is the failsafe chest that I was talking about. If you were to open the chest that is inside of here, it'll be the magic boomerang. Now, I actually want to try something really quick. There is another house here in Thieves Town that has a 300 rupee chest, and I want to see if this contains the magic boomerang as well. No. Totally fine. Totally fine that it didn't. I've just always wondered that, so I just had to check. All right. So let's go back to the opening that we bombed right here. This little pigeon coop here, or cuckoo coop. Walk down the stairs, and because we didn't get the boomerang early on in the game, we automatically get the magical boomerang, which is the updated or the upgraded version. Okay, so since we have the Titan's Mitt, we can now rescue the Smith. And the Smith is actually this jumping frog here. So you just want to lift up this rock, speak with him. You can actually rescue him without the Titan's Mitt if you press A on a specific frame of his jump. His, like, his like, you know, hitbox or whatever like moves over a couple pixels, and then you're able to activate it. Okay. So we're gonna warp to the light world. Come over here. We're gonna bring the smith home. Exit. Go back in. Speak with them. It says, hey, you welcome. Ask us to do anything. We temper the sword. It costs us 10 rupees. They take it. And now we have no sword, so if we press B, nothing happens. However, if we go one screen away and then come back, the sword will be ready. You need this sword in order to get the super bomb. So if you're like trying to buy the super bomb and you've gotten the first 6 crystals and it's still not appearing, that's why you need the tempered sword. I only found that out recently. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to warp to the dark world again, and then we're going to push down all of these pegs. And this is where the Japanese 1.0 version comes in handy. You can push all these down really fast in that version due to a item dash glitch that's available. But we're doing it the slow way. It's okay. Hit the last peg. The stump changes into a secret passage. And then you get piece of heart 13. Okay. So now that we have that, we are going to grab this chest here. Now, something about this chest, you cannot run with this chest. As soon as you press A, you leave it behind. So it's very important that you don't press A while you have this chest on your person. So you want to warp to the light world. And then just move out of the warp crystal there. Great. And then use the flute. Nope, that's the bug catching net. Use the flute. And we're going to warp to Link's house. Yeah. Now, you can pop off of ledges with the chest, but you can't press A. So even though we just warped to the light world and warped here, we're actually going to go right back to the dark world. You want to knock down this peg. Look out for the Octorok. Press A on this rock to lift it. However, if you are like a pixel off and you don't actually lift the rock, you'll end up leaving the chest behind. So make sure that the chest is still following you at this point. Otherwise, when you warp to the dark world, the chest will go back to its spawn point. Okay, so knock down that peg. Come over here. Come over here. Come back over here. Come back over here. Come over here. Come over here. All right. And then we're going to warp right here. And then we're going to speak to the Master Thief here. He only speaks to you if you have this chest on your person. And then inside is the third bottle. So you want to warp back to the dark world. We're going to warp again really fast. So we're just going to come over here. We're going to warp here. That puts us on top of this ridge here. Come over here. Take out the Book of Mudora. Use it at this altar. Link says a prayer, and then the Bombos medallion comes down. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to warp. And I'm going to get the ice rod. There's really like no great time to get the ice rod. It's incredibly out of the way, but I just get it now. So we're going to bomb this boulder here. And we're going to go inside the cave that's revealed. This is a beautiful ice cave with fairy music. And then we get the ice rod. We're going to use the ice rod literally one time in this game. It's required to kill a boss, even though it's out of the way. You got the flute again. And then we are going to go back to Kakariko Village, but we're going to go to Thieves Town, actually. And now that we have the Titan's Mitt, we can just lift this rock up. And then warp into the Dark World. we're going to come over here, and we're going to do some more item collecting. All right, we're going to go all the way over here. And we're basically going to go to the Dark World Graveyard. We're going to do some fancy warping and all sorts of stuff. Whoops, I didn't mean to take this exact route. I should have just used the bush. Ugh, God, I hate you. Okay, so go to this corner, warp, and then we need to bonk into this gravestone. You can't just push it. You got to bonk into it. And then inside of here is the magic cape. This allows us to turn invisible. And then warp back right away. Cool. Then we're going to come up here, and then you want to go to the left a little bit and warp. And that's because if you warp right in front of the cave door, when you come out, you're going to get stuck on the wall, and you're just going to keep warping back and forth. So it's not worth warping in front of the cave door. Okay. Grab that. That's piece of heart number 14. And then we can exit, and we're going to warp back to the Dark World. Okay, we're going to come over here. And then we're going to warp over here. And then this is piece of heart 15. Whew. All right, warp back to the Dark World. And then we're going to get piece of heart 16. Now, you're really supposed to have the hook shot to do this, but you don't need it. You do, however, need the magic cape. The magic cape is mandatory to get this piece of heart. But you can actually snake along a wall instead of getting the hook shot. All right, so you want to very carefully walk along this ledge here. And if you're not comfortable doing that, come back when you have the hook shot and you can just hook onto these pots right here. Activate the cape, deactivate the cape, and then you can exit the cave. And here is piece of heart 16. Very good. I cannot believe I avoided that bird. Okay, so we're going to warp back to the light world, and you'll notice that the Lumberjack brothers are missing, but the tree is a different color. So if you bonk into the tree, the canopy breaks apart, the leaves fall, and then you can jump into the tree. And then piece of heart 17 is right here. Okay, so now that we've done that, whew, a lot of item collecting after Thieves Town. This is why doing the game slightly out of order is better. It's just there's so much available after you do Thieves Town and the Dark Palace. Okay, so now we are going to warp to Link's house. And we are going to use a secret warp point at Hyrule Castle that brings us to the Pyramid of Power. So just run in here, and in this little gate house here is a warp. Okay. Come up here, and we're going to get a few things here. Oh, wow. Unlucky. We're going to get a few things here. We're going to get the flippers, piece of heart 18, and the magic powder. So put a warp point somewhere right here. And then we're going to equip the magic mushroom, press Y in front of the witch to give it to her. And then she says, come back later, which we will do. We're going to warp back to the Dark World. We're going to come over here. And then we're going to make our way towards the Quake Medallion. Okay. Lift up this rock. You can lift up anything. You just got to throw something into this circle of rocks. Catfish comes out. Says, "Why'd you disturb my slumber? I'll give you something for it, though, just to go away." And he gives you the Quake Medallion. So that's 2 medallions out of 3. We'll get the third one in a little bit. For now, we're going to warp to the Light World. And now we're going to get the Flippers and Piece of Heart 18. So we're going to come up here into Zora's Waterfall. For some reason, you cannot use the flute here. I mean, you could use it, but the bird just never comes, which I find interesting. There are quite a lot of Zora in Zora's Waterfall. And Zora in A Link to the Past, just like they are in the original Zelda, they're hostile. So, you don't want to mess with them. Even after King Zora sells you the Flippers, oh, come on. They stay hostile. All right, so just walk up here to the main waterfall. Giant whirlpool shows up, and King Zora comes out. And then he gives us the Flippers with a funny sound. Oh. So, I think in the Game Boy Advance version, he plays like the boss hit sound, like the wow. I think that's Game Boy Advance sound change. I remember that sound being there. I could be totally wrong. Anyway, I'm over here for Piece of Heart 18. And then, like I said, we are going to skip the Fairy Fountain upgrades, but I'm going to show you where one of them is. So since we have the Flippers, we can now swim in deep water, as well as use warping whirlpools, which is really cool. So if you want, you can come down here, swim in this water, and then you can go through this waterfall. And then inside of here is a fairy fountain. So you can speak with this fairy, and you can drop one of 3 things in. If you drop in the blue boomerang, she'll give you the red boomerang. If you drop in your shield, which I'll do since we're here, she will give you the red shield, which will block fireballs. So it's slightly bigger, and you can just stand in front of fireballs, and they'll get blocked. Does not block lasers, only fireballs. Okay, the third thing that you can drop in is an empty bottle. If you do that, she will fill it with green potion. Okay, so now that we have done that, we can use the flute. You can actually use the flute while standing in the waterfall. We're going to use the flute, go back to the witch's hut, which is warp point number 2. We're going to go inside. And then the magic powder is ready. Now, the magic powder is not something you have to get in the game. It has no critical purpose. However, it is incredibly useful for later dungeons. Okay, so you're going to call the bird one more time. We're going to go back to Kakariko Village, because there is one thing here that we did not do before. Ow. Hello. And that is get the magic meter upgrade. So you need the magic powder as well as the magic hammer in order to do this. So knock down this peg, drop into this well, and then we're going to go through the north opening to this really weird-looking pedestal. You want to sprinkle your magic powder onto it, and then a bat comes out. This bat will say that he's cursing you, but he's not. He's actually helping you. So he shoots this magic spell on you, and then a fraction will appear at the top of the magic meter, which means that everything now costs, every spell or anything that uses magic powder, now its cost is halved. They have always incorporated this. They incorporated an Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Can't remember the other games. But in those games, they just double the magic meter. In this game, they just cut it in half. So, okay. So the final thing we need to collect after doing all of this is the Ether Medallion. So we're going to warp to Death Mountain. Oh, God. Warp to Death Mountain. Come up this ladder. If you are low on hearts, just go into that first cave, speak to the old man, and he basically acts as a fairy, and he'll refill your hearts. But I'm okay with 10.5. Okay, go up this big ladder. Now we have these Tektites here. Come over here. We're going to warp. We actually had to collect 2 things here. Warp again. And then we're going to come over here. Use the book. There's the Ether Medallion. So only 2 medallions are required to finish the game. That's Ether and Quake. Bombos is just a bonus, but it is extremely useful. So we're going to warp back to the Dark World here. And then we're going to drop down this ledge. Now, as a couple ways to do this. I'm going to do this like the hard way, kind of. I'm going to conserve magic here. Knock down these pegs, and then I'm going to take out the cape, but I'm not going to use it right away. I just tried to run like an idiot. Use it when you get down to like 3 hearts. And you can run while the cape is equipped. And this is where the half magic meter upgrade really comes in handy. So as soon as you're over here, refill your health with 8 hearts. Open the chest to reveal the Cane of Byrna. The Cane of Byrna does the same, makes you invincible. The cape makes you invisible and invincible. This just makes you invincible. But the star that is following you here, oh god, please let me make it. Please let me make it. Oh god. That's fine. The star that follows you damages enemies. Okay, so now that that's done, now we can get back to actually doing dungeons. So we just collected almost every optional thing in the game at this point. But for now, it's time to get back to dungeon crawling. So we're going to go back to Kakariko Village. We are going to head north, and then we are going to... I'm actually going to refill my magic meter really quick using this tree. So knock down this peg, bonk into this tree, refill your magic, warp to the Dark World. Okay, now it's time for Skull Woods, which is dungeon number 3. Skull Woods becomes... It's a really short dungeon. It's quite short. However, it's really easy to get lost, and that is because it's both an interior and exterior dungeon. What I mean by that is that these pits that you find in the woods, if you fall down them, you will... Oh. I'm going to call an audible. Nah, let's just do this dungeon. It's fine. We could have done this a little bit faster if we did Misery Mire first, but it's okay. So we're going to go through here, but the pits in the woods, those will lead you to the dungeon as well. So something you got to be really careful of in this room is the Floor Master. So it should fall here kind of any second. Hello? There it is. All right. So this statue moves. Floor Masters in this game respawn. So basically, as soon as you hear them drop, you need to move. So we're going to move this statue there. Please go to the... Ugh, God. That was terrifying. Get the big key. Drop a heart? Oh, actually, I think there's a fairy in here. No. All right, whatever. All right. Warp to the entrance and leave. These bags of bugs can drop fairies. That's fine. All right, go ahead and fall down here. Oh, God, come on. Whenever I need a fairy, they don't drop them. Bomb this wall. There is a bomb jump you can do to skip this, but I'm not using glitches here, so... All right, you want to follow this wall very carefully. Pull this switch that blows up the wall to the south, revealing the big chest. Okay. Very good. Now, if you were to warp, it would just send you to where you landed, so you do kind of have to just walk the long way. Very good. Okay, so now that we have the fire rod, we can access the final part of the dungeon. So we're literally just going to go back the way we were. Come up here. Fairy? Nope. Come through here. Over here. And then there's a key over here that we... Oh, God, that we want to get. Careful the Floor Master. Grab this key. Now, I've gotten questions. How do I get into the room with the pit? It's been a long time since I've done this, but I'm almost positive it's here. Oh, fairy. Nice. Yeah, you drop into this pit here, and that brings you into the room with the pit. So I've gotten that question a lot. Nothing in there. It's just like a room that sometimes people don't know how to discover on the map. That's it. Okay, so right here, you want to use the dungeon item, which is the fire rod, to melt all that. And since we got the key before, we can just skip this whole maze and just walk up here and open the door. Otherwise, there's like an invisible maze down there that you got to solve. Over here, you can just sort of cheat the ledge there to walk through. 1, light all the torches, kill all the gib. You don't have to kill the gibdos, but it certainly helps. Oh god, this might not be enough time. Okay, very good. All right, so in this room, just slash the curtains, and we got to kill the gibdo in this next room. Whew, imagine that. Grab the key, and now we have access to the boss. So this boss goes a little bit faster with the red sword. However, I want to talk for a second. So this boss is called Mothula. It's not a difficult boss, but there's quite a lot of hazards in the room that are meant to make you panic. So the floor is going to be moving. It moves in different directions. It's just like a conveyor belt that switches directions. Got to pay attention to that. There are spikes or traps that will move throughout the room. So you got to watch out for those. And then the boss will be flying around. Now, if you were to hit the boss and the boss were to hit one of the traps on the perimeter, the spikes, your hit is negated. So it's almost like the traps heal the boss in a way. It's a very weird mechanic, but you want to hit the boss not into a trap. Other than that, you could just go for it. The magic mirror makes this a bit easier. The magic cape makes this a bit easier. However, when you're using the magic cape, you cannot charge your sword. So 2 red sword spins will kill the boss. However, if we hit it into a trap, it's negated. Let's go. Oh, God. Why does this game hate me? Ugh. Whatever. So I only have 2 hits on it. That's 3. I need a 4th. That's 4. So you'll notice I actually hit it 5 times, but one of those times it moved into a trap and the hit didn't count. It's a weird, frustrating mechanic, but the boss is supposed to be frustrating. Okay, so that's the second crystal. So we have a choice at this point. We can either do the Swamp Palace or we can do Misery Mire. I'm gonna do the Swamp Palace just because doing Misery Mire without the hook shot requires a pit jump, and I'm gonna classify that as an advanced technique. So I'm not gonna like make you do that. A bomb jump and a pit jump is possible in Skull Woods to make it go a little bit faster, but I didn't show it. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do the Swamp Palace next. Okay, so you can't warp in the mouth. Otherwise, you'll get stuck in a wall. So go ahead and warp here. I may even be in a wall. Nope, perfect. All right, so you can use your flute in the woods. And then we're going to go to Link's house. Okay, and then we're going to warp like we did with the bottle chest. So we're going to come over here. You gotta love a frame slowdown. All right, now we can finally swim in this water. So we're going to come down here. Oops. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right, so we're going to come in here, but we're not actually going to go inside because the Swamp Palace is not flooded yet. So we're going to come over here. We're going to warp, and then we're going to go into this pump house, sluice gate house. I don't know. Come in here. And then we're going to move this and this like that. This way we gain entry into here. Now, the magic powder is incredibly useful because you can sprinkle it on bad fairies to turn them into regular fairies and get yourself a fairy. So pull the switch on the right to raise the sluice gate. And then this floods the outside, but it has a similar effect in the Dark World in that it floods the outside of this region in the Dark World, as well as the temple. Or the palace, I should say. All right. So, we can go inside. And now this is flooded. So now we can swim here. So you need the flippers to do this dungeon, obviously. Kill all these 3. Reveals a chest. Watch out for the bubble. Open the chest, open the door, go downstairs. Yeah. Second pot holds the key. Open the door, go in. New mechanic in this dungeon are these gold things on the ground. Whenever you slash your sword, it shoots a fireball. This also counts if you're running. So you see there, it shot a fireball while I was running. Whenever your sword is out, it shoots a fireball. Lift up this pot to get a key. Come back out. Then we're going to go up this staircase and use our key. And then we need to use the magic hammer to knock down these pegs. Okay, this room is now flooded. So now we can hop up this ladder here. Now we're sort of in the main chamber. We're gonna come over here. Watch out for the fish. We're gonna come over here. This dungeon has like a lot of like backtracking, which can get a little annoying, but it's necessary. Okay. Come in here, get this key, and then our next destination is that crystal switch over there. Oh, that's a hit. Cool. Okay, come in here with that key, and then you can hit the crystal switch over the railing by using that. I didn't actually mean to hit it again, so I gotta cycle this. Come on. Here we go. They sort of give you false hope for a shortcut there, because if the blue tiles are lowered, you can move there. You can get through that room quickly, but it actually blocks access to what you need later on. So don't have the blue tiles depressed. Always leave them up. Okay, so we're going to come in here. Avoid this. We're going to hop down here. And then we're going to push this block like that and that block like that to give us access to the staircase. We're going to come up here. We're going to go upstairs. We're going to push this block out of the way. And watch out for the Tektites here. Actually, I don't even know if these things are Tektites. I always forget what's a Tektite, what's not. I think those are Tektites. But then I don't know what the eye things on Death Mountain are. Anyway, you want the red tiles depressed there. This way you can get the big key. Okay, so with the big key in tow, now we can open up the big chest and get the hook shot that goes boing. That's what it says. Okay, that 5 arrows actually would have been useful. That's fine. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab the hook shot. It goes boing. All right, hook over here. Lift up this pot for a key. And then we're gonna hook over here onto these pots. Use that key to open this door. And then we're gonna come over here. And then you can use the hook shot to kill jellyfish even while they are zapping, so keep that in mind. Lift up this pot, push this statue onto the switch to open up both doors. We're gonna go through the one on the right, this one right here. This is gonna allow us to go downstairs. And then we're going to push this switch to open the drain. That's going to drain this pool here, allowing us to walk down. Okay. Oh, that was rude. All right. So, there's something I want to talk about here. This is a room, this is a dungeon that you can easily feel stuck in. However, you're not actually stuck. if you were to take out the dungeon map and you look at the flashing square, or the flashing 4 corners on B2, you'll notice a dot. The dot that's blinking like rainbow colors, like green, red, that is Link's position. You'll notice immediately north of Link is an exit. So that is because this waterfall is hiding a door. That's how you know where to go. Look at the map. The map always tells you. Otherwise, if you were to like go through the door all the way on the left and come over here to these pots, you would see this room here indicating that it was hidden. Okay, kill the jellyfish. And then we need one last key, so we're gonna come over here. Yeah, these things are unkillable, eh? Oh, whatever. I guess you could use a medallion to kill him. Anyway, swim up here, use the final key here, and then we are now going to fight Argus. And Argus gets significantly easier when you have the red sword. And that's because you need to hook shot a puffer off of him and then kill it with your sword. With the Master Sword, you need to hit them twice. With the red sword, or the Tempered Sword, you hit them once. So this fight goes a lot quicker. So it's just hook, slash, hook, slash, hook, slash, hook, slash, hook, slash. Oh, God. Hook, slash. Nope. Hook, slash. And then what you want to do at this point, charge your sword, let him drop, swing your sword. You got to do this twice. And he's dead. Same strategy if you do not have the Tempered Sword. Same exact strategy. Just takes, I think, 4 hits instead of 2. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to get another heart piece, as well as the 4th and final bottle. Link, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touches it, as long as that person lives. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. Only a select few know of its location, but at some point that knowledge was lost. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the Light World. Well, remember that you have magical powers which only the hero can make the most of. There are some other magical warping points like the one you saw on Death Mountain. By using them, you can go between the 2 worlds and find the evils hidden in the Dark World. You're the only one who can destroy Ganondorf, the thief, no, Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Do you understand? Yes. The way of the hero leads to the Triforce. Okay. Cool. So now that we've done that, do a little bit more exploring. Go ahead and hop down here. Oh, that was rude. Come up here. Pop off this ledge here. And then you're going to look for a circle of rocks here in Dark World Lake Hylia. I don't know what it's called in the Dark World. Okay, and then warp just about right here, sort of like in the upper right area. Then you're going to show up on an island with a piece of heart. And that is piece of heart number 20. 4 more pieces of heart to go. So we're going to jump into Lake Hylia here. Hello. Thank you. Jump into Lake Hylia. And then we're going to keep swimming along. And then we're going to visit the guy who lives under the bridge. Hyrule seems to have a homeless population. Maybe he likes living down here. Who knows? He's got a tent. He's got a fire. Seems like he's camping. And he gives you the 4th and final bottle. Okay. Cool. So, now that we have that, let's go ahead and warp. And then we're going to go to Misery Mire. So, we're going to go to warp point number 6. You need the Titan's Mitt in order to do this, because you need to lift up this rock. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to get 2 pieces of heart, numbers 21 and 22. Let's come over here. Go into this creepy looking house. Come over here. We're going to push some blocks out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Open this for heart piece number 21. We're going to swim over here. And then we're going to run to the east. And then warp somewhere in this general area. Back to the light world. We're going to lift up this rock and get heart piece number 22. So we got to push these blocks like so into a couple Tetris pieces. Do yourself a tri-spin. Get out of there. Okay, warp back to the Dark World. Now it's time to enter Misery Mire, which is dungeon number 7? 6. Turtle Rock is 7, that's right. All right, so we got to come over here. And then we need to get onto this altar here. And this is where you need the Ether Medallion. So you want to stand on the Ether symbol, take out Ether, press Y to use it, and then the Thunder and Lightning clears up, the rain clears, and then the dungeon is revealed. All right, Misery Mire is a pain. This is a very difficult dungeon. It's very easy to get lost in. It's large. Some of the rooms in this place are quite large. Just be careful. All right, so the reason, I'll show it to you now, but the reason that I waited to come, oh God, the reason that I waited to come here until I had the hook shot is because it is possible to clear this gap without the hook shot. The way you do it is you tap A while facing this direction, then tap left to face the block, and then as you bonk off the block, hold right on the D-pad to cheat the ledge and get over. So it looks like this. So you can get there, but it's intended that you have the hook shot. Sort of like the Shadow Temple in Ocarina of Time, same concept. All right, so unfortunately we don't have full health here because of that Zol, but the Wizrobes, ow, although very deadly, they deal a ton of damage, they actually die in one hit. So if you have sword beams, it's really easy to clear out this room. Okay, cool. All right, so now that we've done that, we can come over here. We can navigate, oh, nope, I was facing the wrong direction. We can navigate this pipe maze here. Come over, ow, come over here, go up this staircase. That one bonk cost me so much time. Kill this bag of bugs, and then there's actually 2 small keys in this room. This is where the game is sort of telling you, hey, there's a way to cross spikes. It's either with the cape or the cane. So come over here. The cane uses less magic. Come over here, open this, and then you're good. All right, so we have 2 keys, so now we're going to come back into the pipe maze room. And like I said, these chains of fire, only the first one is active, so you can just walk with the rest. Come over here, come into this room by opening up this door. We're going to kill this jellyfish. Ow. Hit the switch, come through here. That jellyfish had a key in case you didn't see it. I'm actually wondering if I was supposed to hit that switch. Anyway, magic refill in this pot. And then we need to light all 4 torches in these rooms. So there's 2 in here and 2 in here. This is a bit of a trick, but if you were to push a block and use the fire rod at the same time, the fire will go through the block, allowing you to do this faster. Otherwise, you need to move all the blocks, and then you can actually use the lamp and then light all the torches. But this is a bit faster, and it's not hard at all. So just push the block, and as soon as it's moving, press Y. Like that. Like that, and like that. So what that does is it allows you to ignore all the Wizrobes, because there will be Wizrobes spawning in this room, and it just makes it a good deal faster. Otherwise, you want to push all the blocks out of the way. This way you get access to each of the areas like this. So do that in all 4 sections, and then you can just use the lamp and run between them, but that's a lot easier. So I actually think there's an error here, and what I mean by that is you have this room. What does this box say? Must set fire to the 4 torches to open the way forward. So I guess Sahasrara gives you a hint. However, this pit does not have a texture underneath it, which typically indicates that there's a room underneath it for you to go to. But you can fall down this pit, and it leads to the big key. I kind of think that's an error, because it's the only pit that's like that in the game, as far as I know. But maybe they did it deliberately to make it seem more deadly. I don't know. Okay, so I recommend taking out the magic powder here, if you have it. And that's because you can turn that guy into a good fairy. Okay, we're going to come through here. We're going to come through here. And then sort of go back to the start, but now we're going to go through this room here. If you'd like, you can turn this bad fairy into a good fairy, sprinkle some dust, take out the hook shot. The hook shot is not necessary here, but it makes this a lot easier. Hook over here, start running, and then open up the chest for the cane. Okay, and then we can come through here. That's the compass in that chest right there. I'm not getting it. Kill that guy, come over here, because we use the key for this. All right, pop down here. Come through here. Kill the Wizrobe, lift that pot. Open up this big key door. Come over here. If you need another key, it's in the chest to the right here on that rope bridge. There's also another one in a pot in a really big room near that gigantic trap that we moved past. All right, so you want to lift up this pot, take out the Cane of Samaria, place a block, and push it onto the switch to keep it depressed, and then that keeps this door open. Okay, we're going to come through here, open this, and then, oh god, I'm so bad at navigating these traps. Come over here, lift up this pot, move up here, and then we need to press this crystal switch here. Use the magic boomerang to hit it, no problem. Over here. Go into this room. You need a bomb on that crack. I was stuck in this room at the age of 4 for years. I could not figure that out. Press this crystal switch. That releases everybody. And you can go into this room, back into the light. And then from here, we're just going to run all the way up. Press this crystal switch. Look out for the Zols that are dropping from the ceiling. Come over here. I'm going to bonk there. Sprinkle here. That didn't matter. Otherwise, you could just walk all the way around. I was just trying to do that nicely. All right, so this boss is called Vitreous. Vitreous is one of the most deadly bosses in the game. It's a giant eyeball surrounded by mini eyeballs. You need to kill all the mini eyeballs in order to reveal the boss, and then you just shoot the boss with arrows. However, similar to Aghanim, the boss can shoot lightning at you, and this lightning can arc really far. So you want to be in the upper corners of the room, corners-ish of the room, in order to avoid that lightning, but it can reach basically the walls. So you need to be up in the corners, basically. The 4 eyeballs that are submerged in front of the boss cannot be attacked. However, they will deal damage to you, so you don't want to get close to the boss while it's in the water. Okay. Oops. So that's lightning right there. I got lucky there. It didn't really move much, but believe me, it can arc. Okay, so you see I actually touched the slime, the dark slime there. And the more eyeballs you kill, the more Vitreous starts coming out. So, yeah, see, that's big lightning right there. See, it's basically touching the wall. It's got big arcs. Once the eyeball starts shaking, it's going to come out, shoot it with 6 arrows. Oh, 8. Sorry. 8 arrows. I don't think it was 6. Shoot it with 8 arrows, and then it goes down. And then this, you can walk in this, no problem. Then you get your next crystal. Okay. So now it's time for the Ice Palace. The Ice Palace is something that we got to talk about. I'm actually, while this lady's chatting to me, I'm going to look something up on YouTube because the Game Boy Advance version of the Ice Palace is different. Ice Palace. Nope. I'm like mildly tempted to do a Game Boy Advance walkthrough for this game, at least for the Ice Palace. Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Very good. I understand now. I can explain it better. Okay. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and warp back to the light world. And then we are going to warp to Lake Hylia. Choose warp point number 8. And then just jump into the water right here. Okay. And then before we actually do the Ice Palace, I do need to explain something here. This cave right here, if you're going for a ultimate 100% completion, this is the Great Fairy's Fountain. You want to walk up to this fountain and keep donating money until the fairy appears. I don't know the amounts. It's well over 1,000 rupees to get all the upgrades, but you just keep donating more and more and more money into the wishing well. The Great Fairy will appear, and then she will ask you if you want arrow upgrades or bomb upgrades. The maximum capacity of each, I believe, is 50 and 70. A link to the past upgrades. ZeldaDungeon.net is my favorite Zelda website. I love this website to death. Arrows go to 70. Bombs go to 50. Yes. So, the other cool thing about this place, it's actually useful. I mean, they're both useful, but this is more useful. Bomb this crack, and then you get a full fairy fountain with 4 fairies. Okay. Yeah, so you need to donate 100 rupees at a time in order to get them. So I think it's, I don't know, 40 and 30 probably. So 700, I don't know. It's a lot of rupees. Anyway, once you're ready for the dungeon, lift up the black rock, warp to the dark world, and then enter the Ice Palace. All right, so the Ice Palace is a hard check to see if you have the fire rod because this door does not open until you kill this guy. And I believe Sahasrara even tells you that. The magic flames will protect you inside this icy dungeon. So yeah, you need the fire rod in order to kill those ice men. In this room, we have a couple jellyfish. This bottom one drops a key. Then we're going to go downstairs, and then we have, like, these ducks. Oh, not yet. Wrong room. My bad, my bad, my bad. Hit this floor switch, bonk off the wall to avoid the slime that's coming out. Over here, we're going to push this block. We basically just got to make a ring. If you kill all the enemies in this room, it reveals the dungeon map, but you don't even need to do that. You can just leave, go to the right, press the floor switch again. It opens up this door. I recommend you charge your sword, kill these guys, lift up this pot, come through here, go back, hit the floor switch again, push this block this way, and then finally go through the north door. This is like the ultimate destination here. Hit this crystal switch. You're going to plant a bomb or put down a block with the cane of Samaria. Bomb this crack again. Do not put the bomb in the corner, otherwise it will hit the crystal switch, and then you'll have to waste another couple bombs. Fall down. You're going to lift up a pot. A Stalfos Knight is going to drop. Plant a bomb on its corpse. It will not actually die, otherwise it will continuously come back to life unless you bomb the corpse. It's the only way to kill them. All right, come down here into the conveyor belt room. The second jellyfish drops a key. And then we can go through this locked door. Do I need to hit the switch? Nope. Okay, make sure the red tiles are down. There is an insane bomb jump that you can do to leave the blue blocks up and then bomb jump diagonally into this corner. That is the glitch at which I gave up speedrunning this game. I could not learn that to save my life, so I gave up. But if you can learn that bomb jump, you can speedrun this game, basically. The reason I pause here is because there's a cool little trick that you can do. When you are hookshotting, you are invincible. Even if the hookshot is just being, thrown out and not connecting to anything, you are invincible for those few frames. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hookshot to the pot all the way on the right and go right through this chain of fire. Just like that. You don't have to do that, but it's just easier and safer. All right, go down this staircase. This is the room I was talking about. Charge your sword and then start walking down, and then you will continue to swing your sword as you're moving a little bit. You can get them all at once. It's a little tricky, but it's a really nice way to deal with it. Avoid the big trap. Okay, and then avoid it again. You can just walk through it and tank the hit. It's no problem, but I like to avoid it. We're going to tuck in here and then just drop down to the floor below. We're going to go through this. Oh, hello. Thank you. We're going to go through this door. You're going to need to hookshot a bunch of these jellyfish just to kind of get through and get across. Hookshot onto there. Come across. Avoid these traps. No problem. Come down here. Go up the stairs. And then we're going to kill these guys. Hook shot over here. Don't worry about lifting up that pot just yet. It's not necessary at this point. Okay, hug this wall. And then we are going to hit this peg, lift this up, hit this peg, come up here. You can just hit the Stalfos. You don't need to kill it at this point. Just make sure you get the key. Hello, thank you. And then come over here. I pulled the tongue out. This way we can go up this staircase. And then we can lift up these two pots, grab the big key. If you were to go through this door by pushing this block and then this block, it would lead you back towards the beginning of the dungeon, so you don't want to do that. Instead, you want to come down this staircase, pull the tongue out again by holding A and pulling down on the D-pad, and then go up to the staircase, go down a floor. Now we lift up this pot to reveal a switch. And then we take out the hook shot, we hook across, get another small key, go through this door, and hey, here we are again with a big trap. Just go right across. And then it's helpful to slash your sword while on ice. That helps like stop you for a couple frames. This way you get a bit more control. But you want to go down this staircase, and then we're going to bomb this floor right here. Just place in this general vicinity. Okay, that reveals a pit. Fall down the pit, and then we're going to open up the big chest to get ourselves the blue mail. This halves our damage taken. So now we have more protection. Go ahead and push the blocks. And then I'm going to kill this Iceman, and then I'm going to talk for a minute. Okay. If you are playing the Game Boy Advance version of this game, this room will look a little bit different. So in the SNES version, as well as the Switch Online version, which is based on the SNES version, the puzzle looks like this. So what we need to do is we need to find a crystal switch and then get back to this room, specifically on this side of the tiles. In the Game Boy Advance version, this looks like pretty different. So it's the same setup, however, the puzzle is different. That said, it more or less has the same exact solution. The Game Boy Advance version changes the puzzle to prevent you from using the red cane to skip the puzzle. So I'm going to show you how to skip it if you have the red cane, but we're still going to solve the puzzle normally for our Game Boy Advance players. All right, so we're going to go through here. The Stalfos is going to drop. We're going to ignore it. We're just going to go through this door. And then we're going to come down here. Now, here... Oh, whoops. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. All right, so I did this slightly out of order. Let me do this correctly. I'm sorry. I'm so used to using the red cane there that I always forget to get the key. It's okay, though. The key is very, very close. We're going to come back up here. Go through here. We're going to come through this door here, and then there's a key in this room. So it's actually in this pot. However, we need to open the door again. Okay, very good. So now that we have the key, we can go down here. Very sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that out of any order. Okay. Cool. So now we can open this door. And this is the intended solution here. We can open this door, and then we can hit this crystal switch. You can actually use the magic powder on these guys. While they're stationary. I think they have to be stationary, and that'll turn into a fairy. Anyway, hit the crystal switch, put the blue tiles down, and then that's basically the solution to the puzzle, and we'll solve the whole thing. However, it was changed on the Game Boy Advance version because in the SNES version, you can just do this. And then that opens the door to the boss. So they changed it in the Game Boy Advance version to prevent you from being able to do that, which kind of sucks. But just press the crystal switch, and we're going to solve this like we normally do. Let's come back up here. You'll notice that the tiles are now down. And then what we need to do is we need to get back to this room on the left side and push the bottom left brick down the pit. So we basically just have to do a loop around the dungeon at this point, which is a bummer, but it's okay. Oh. Come on. Thank you. All right. Get this key. And then that allows us to go through this door. Be careful, this Iceman does become active. Those guys deal a ton of damage. All right, we're gonna lift up this pot to reveal a switch. And then we're gonna go through this door, fall down this pit, and then we're back on the other side of those tiles. So it's not the worst solution, but it just sucks that the Game Boy Advance version changes it. Anyway, just hold forward, push this specific brick down the pit, and then we lift up this pot, and then we push the brick on the switch, and then we go. The Game Boy Advance solution is more or less the same. There is no brick to push. Instead, you just lift up a big block and fall down a pit, and then that room is slightly redesigned. So that's the difference, but yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm honestly a little tempted to like play the Game Boy Advance version and just go through this dungeon and show people how to get through it. But anyway, move the statue, press the laughing peg, lift up this to reveal the boss room, and I'm going to talk for a moment now. The boss of the Ice Palace is called Cold Stare. It's a fairly easy boss mechanically. However, everything in this room does a lot of damage. So if you didn't get the blue mail upgrade, this is going to be even harder. There's going to be snowballs falling from the ceiling that break apart into 4 directions. The first time it drops, the snowball will break into north, south, east, west. On the second time it drops, it'll drop in diagonal directions, and then it alternates from there. So it's cardinal direction, diagonal direction, cardinal direction, diagonal direction. Additionally, the boss is encased in ice. So you have to either have the fire rod or the Bombos medallion. The Bombos medallion will destroy the ice in one cast. So you just got to use Bombos once, and then you're set. Otherwise, you will have to use 1 full magic meter of the ice rod if you do not have the half magic upgrade. So if you did not get the magic upgrade, you must enter this boss room with full magic, absolutely full magic, and then you use the fire rod on the ice cage to break the boss open. Otherwise, just use Bombos once. You definitely don't need a full magic meter for that, so that's why getting Bombos is helpful. Once the ice cage is broken, the boss actually comes out, and then the boss is 3 puffy snowballs that move around the room. They move very quickly. They are tanky, meaning that they have a lot of poise. So even if you bat them in one direction, they will not always pause. Like, they'll go in that direction, but they will more or less immediately start coming right back at you. So you need to always be moving in this fight. A, B, M. A, always, B, B, M, moving. Always be moving. Avoid the snowballs. Avoid the boss. Use Bombos. So as soon as you land, as soon as you're in this black screen, just mash Y. And that's it. So now the boss becomes available. Just go ahead and start slashing your sword to try to get a hit on all 3, and then just chase them down. They deal quite a bit of damage, and they move like scrubbing bubbles. I'm really trying to be safe because I'm about to drop to 1 row of hearts here. Okay, that's 2. All right, this gets significantly easier now. So just avoid the snowballs falling. All right, and then once the 3rd one gets hit one last time, the snowballs stop. Okay, that's Cold Stare. It's a hard boss because, like you saw, like they're just always moving. And so even though you're hitting them and batting them away, they can immediately start moving again. So it's tricky, and because there's so many sound effects going off, the game can't load more than a couple sound effects at once. And so you won't always hear the snowballs dropping. It can be very, very tough. Okay. All right. Where are we in comparison to the other one? Okay, we're like 10 minutes behind the other walkthrough, which is fine. I'm doing a lot more explaining in this than I did the live stream walkthrough years ago. Okay, so after the Ice Palace, you should have all of the sub-menu items, including the 4 bottles. Should have the Pegasus boots, Titan's mitt, flippers, Moon Pearl, level 3 sword, maybe the level 2 shield if you cared, maybe the blue mail if you cared, but you should have 6 crystals, and at the very least, the red sword. With all of that, we will be able to now get the silver arrows as well as the gold sword, which is the final upgrades of the game, not including the red mail, which we get in Ganon's Tower as the dungeon treasure. So, warp back to the light world, use the flute, warp to Link's house, and then we're going to use this warp point just south of Link's house one final time. Okay, come over here, take out the magic hammer. Warp, use the magic hammer to knock down this peg once more. And then we're going to visit the bomb shop. Now, if you have 6 crystals and the red sword, I didn't know you needed the red sword until very recently, so I mean, insane that you needed that. I literally never knew that. But as long as you have 6 crystals and the red sword, the super bomb is available for purchase for 100 rupees. So you want, I don't know if it's 100, maybe it's only, I can't remember. Anyway, a bunch of rupees. Purchase the super bomb. You cannot drop off of ledges with this thing, otherwise it will plant and start to go off, and you cannot, you can reclaim it as long as it's not actively exploding. So don't drop off ledges, do not press A, you cannot run. Pressing A plants the bomb, so you need to take the long way back to the Pyramid of Power. But there's a tiny bit of a shortcut here. So if you just go to the north, and then come right here, equip the magic mirror, hold up on the D-pad as soon as it starts loading, and then you will have enough invincibility frames to get through those guards and just walk into the hidden warp point, and you're back at the pyramid. Then you can take the bomb up the staircase and plant it at the disco duck crack right here. And then just wait for it to go off. And it reveals the cave. So, unfortunately, this Great Fairy was transformed into a pig, more or less. You want to give your bow. Oh, she was just made large. I always thought she was supposed to be like a pig or something. Okay, anyway. Throw in the bow to get the silver arrows, and then we're just going to exit and go back in. Otherwise, you could just wait a couple seconds, but this is just easier. All right, so get these silver arrows, and then throw in your sword as well. And just like the other Great Fairy Fountain, if you throw in an empty bottle, she will give you a green potion to refill your magic meter. All right. So we now have the sword and arrow upgrades. Most powerful sword, most powerful arrows. You must, well, I should not say must. There's ways to kill Ganon without silver arrows. It's hard, but you can do it. I'm not even going to describe how to do it. I've literally never done it. It's insane. Anyway, warp back to the Light World, call the bird, warp to Death Mountain, and now it's time to go to the penultimate dungeon of the game, which is Turtle Rock. All right, let's go up the staircase. Oh, hello. Come over here. I was hoping to do this without taking damage. All right, anyway, come over here. And once on this side, we are going to warp. Sorry, I was thinking of a glitch that you could do. Take out the hook shot, snap over here, kill that guy, come over here, and then go into this cave. Okay, then once in this cave, go up this staircase. You don't have to kill these guys, but better safe than sorry. Come over here, exit, and now we're all the way at the top. So it's a really cool shortcut to the top of Death Mountain. Oh, wow. I can't believe I didn't get the fairy. That's actually nuts. Oh, well, I got the fairy, but now I can't move. Okay, so we wait. Anyway, come over here. And then you need the Titan's Mitt in order to access this, as well as the Quake Medallion. So lift up this rock, and then you need to press these pegs down with the hammer in a specific order. 1, 2, 3. That reveals a warp point. If you do it in any other order, the puzzle is solved incorrectly, and the warp point will not appear. You need to exit the screen and come back and do it again. So it's right, up, left. Any other order will not work. Okay, take the warp tile and then use the Quake Medallion on this pedestal, and then that will reveal the entrance to Turtle Rock. In order to complete Turtle Rock, you need Titan's Mint to access the platform, Magic Hammer to knock down the pegs, Quake to reveal the entrance, and then you need the Cane of Somaria in order to create platforms. If you pull down on this paw, you get 20 rupees. I don't know how I know that. Anyway, all right, Turtle Rock. So we want to take out the Cane of Somaria, use it on this question mark to create a platform, and then you just press up, and then you glide across. Now, this is where I get a lot of questions, is how do I navigate these tracks here? So when you step onto the platform and you move to the right, it'll start moving to the right. It'll stop at any question marks, but it will not stop at intersections. So, for example, if I came over here and then I started moving and then I held left on the D-pad, I would move at this intersection. If I hold up, I move at this intersection. If I hold right, I move at this intersection. So that's how it works. So again, hold left. If I just hold down, I'll go down. You want to always hold the direction before you get to the intersection. Always do that. It's going to come in handy later. Okay, so this room is hard. This isn't really even a speedrunning trick. This is just how I suggest solving this room. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go up. We're going to take out the fire rod. We're going to shoot down there to light 2 at the same time. Shoot there. And then after you light the 4th one, take out the hook shot. Hook onto this lamp to fall down the pit. And then you can exit. You don't have to do that, but it's just safer. Otherwise, you're going to be lighting those torches forever and trying to get across. So go ahead and open up this chest for a small key. Just avoid the rolling pins. They will bonk on the bricks there, and then you can avoid them safely. Okay, just like that. Otherwise, you could just use the blue cane like I did at the start there and keep moving. All right, so go ahead and take out the red cane again, and then don't forget about this magic refill in this pot down here. It's a full magic decanter. Create another platform, and then go through the second door over here. All right. So this, I don't know, pokey looking thing from Super Mario Brothers. A lot of the enemies in this dungeon are Mario Brothers themed. It's a turtle like a Koopa. So those things are kind of like pokies. And we have chain chomps even. Okay, so take out the magic boomerang, throw it up here, push this block, avoid the chain chomps, open this chest for a key, and then go through. It's a tough room. Chain chomps deal a ton of damage. I think it's like 4 hearts per hit. It's nuts. All right, let this bad fairy go by, come down the stairs, transform it into a good fairy if you need. And then we're going to go through this pipe here. Again, Mario Brothers themed. It's pipes, Koopas, pokies, all that stuff. All right, come over here. Then you're going to go down the first pipe. You don't have to hold any directions. This is auto-scrolling when you're in the pipe, so just go through the pipe and it does the rest. All right, come in here. Zoom down here. And then we need to kill this pokey for a key. Just like that. We got transformed into a bunny. It's no big deal. Go through the pipe. Then we're going to open this chest for the big key. And then we're going to go back the same way we just came. Okay. Now, we need to hit that switch again. Avoid the bad fairies. Go through this pipe. Go through this pipe. Come through here. I guess we didn't need to hit the switch. Now I'm thinking about it. Kill the 2 pokies. All right, we're going to come through here. And then you'll notice that there are eyes that are closed and eyes that are open. The eyes that are open will always shoot when you go across. However, the eyes that are closed will only shoot if you're looking at them. Keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to come down here, and then we're going to plant a bomb on this crack, and then just wait in this corner. This way we don't get shot by a laser. Crack opens, and then we can exit the dungeon onto a platform that is only accessible from this dungeon, and then we're actually going to warp to the light world right here. And that's because there is a cave entrance that is only accessible via the dungeon. It's the only way to get into this cave is through the dungeon. So we have some mimics here. So just take out your arrows. You know what to do. Oh, I'll take that 10 spot. knock down the laughing pegs. And then we get heart piece number 23 of 24. So we're almost done. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, and we warp back to the light world. And again, that is only accessible via the Turtle Rock dungeon. All right, so go back inside, take out the red cane, make yourself a platform, go across, and get the mirror shield, which is the final shield upgrade. This will block lasers, except for the ones that get shot out of Bombos statues. It will block the ones shot by eyeballs. All right, open the door, go through this pipe, go through this room. You can actually bonk open this wall, and then go through here. We have a rolling pin. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, this room is very tricky. I do not have a way of illuminating this room, so you have to do it in the dark. So I'm gonna explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, but we basically have to take a very specific path. Oh God, I did not mean to do that. Hello, thank you so much. I didn't mean to do that. We'll get back to the start. So we're basically gonna reach a small platform that has a switch on it. We just need to press the switch. We do not need to leave a brick on the switch. You just press it. And then we need to follow the track and get to the exit. So when you are moving this platform, you just hold the D-pad in the direction that you want to move. If you need to turn at an intersection, you need to hold the D-pad in the direction that you wish to turn before you get to the intersection. Okay. So we just go down here, down again, and we are at the platform. Lift up the pot, press the switch, and then wait for the flame to go. Up, right, hold right on the D-pad this whole time, hold down on the D-pad this whole time, hold left on the D-pad this whole time, hold left, and then you just end up at the exit. It's hard. It's in the dark. I can't light up that room for you. If you're using an emulator, you can light up the room, but unfortunately, I'm not doing that. Okay. Go all the way down, and then the only chest in this area that's guarded is the one with a key in it. However, since we have the mirror shield, we can block the lasers. Now, the way to get back across here is hold the shield out to your side. Oh my God, it happened anyway, but that's how you would get back across. All right. Now, using that key, you can open this door. And then we are in this big room. This is where the magic boomerang comes in handy. If you don't have it, it's fine. You use bombs or bricks or whatever. Hit that. Hit that one more time. And then just go north. And now we have access to the boss room. Okay. So you don't need much magic, but what I recommend doing, place down a platform, refill your magic meter, and then go across. This boss is called Trinecks, and it has 3 necks. So I just want to look at it really quick. Yes. Okay, so the first head that's going to come out is the fire head, or the ice head, sorry. You need to use opposite elements on the 2 heads. So the first one that's going to come out is the one on the right. That is the one that shoots ice. So you need to shoot fire at it to stun it. And then using the gold sword, you just have to hit it twice to kill the head. What I recommend doing to do this as fast as possible, start the fight with the fire rod. As soon as the head gets stunned with the fire shot, switch to the ice rod, and then kill the ice head. The reason you want to do this is because when the head is exploding, you cannot open the menu. So while that's happening, the other head is going to be shooting fire and blocking your path. So if you already have the ice rod equipped, if you have the ice rod equipped while the ice head is exploding, you can just move over to the fire head and kill it really quick. Okay. So the reason you want to kill the ice head first is because... the reason you want to kill the ice head first is because it spits out ice, and that ice is permanent. It makes the room into an ice skating rink. 1, 2... What? Is it 4? Whatever. That's different than I remember. Okay, this is going poorly. Anyway. God. What is happening? I don't remember. 4 hits? Really? Anyway. that's Trinex. As it's exploding, you want to go into the turtle shell and just keep mashing your sword. The weak point of the boss is the center. So I already got 1 hit on it. 2, 3, and the boss goes down. Sorry I sort of misexplained that. I really remember the ice head coming out first. Obviously I was incorrect, but that's the strategy. Shoot the head, equip the other rod, kill the head, shoot the other head, kill the head, and then kill the body. I really apologize for misexplaining that. I remember that fight differently, but that's the way you do it. You just want to be efficient with your rod equipping, because otherwise what ends up happening is the room turns into an ice skating rink because you can't pause the game. All right, so we finally got Princess Zelda. 2:35. Like I said, this video will probably be 3 hours, and here we are. Between 2.5 and 3 hours. That will be an accurate time thing, because Ganon's Tower takes about 10 minutes. I'm just loading up my channel members so I can give them a shout out at the end of the video. Members. Okay, there you all are. Beautiful. Cool. So now the Turtle Rock is done. We have 19 hearts, all sub-menu items, 3/4 of the next heart container, and we are now going to get our 20th heart. So we are going to lift up this rock, go into the secret cave, and then I'm going to explain something. So, unfortunately, on the SNES on the SNES Classic version of this game, and I believe the Switch Online version of this game, this mechanic is broken. So you'll notice that it's just a room full of pits. And it's clear that you could hook shot from platform to platform. However, you cannot get to the platform that leads to the heart piece, which is to the north. However, if you were to take out the Ether Medallion, it would reveal a secret passageway, a secret path on the pit. Okay, so it's showing up for me on my screen. However, I can guarantee you in the video, you can't see that. So just use Ether on this spot and you can see the secret path. It doesn't always work on the modern versions of this game. I don't know what causes that, but there is a secret path. Just follow the same movement I just did. It's there, I promise you, but sometimes it just does not appear. I know it won't appear in the video recording. It may not appear on your TV, but it is there. And Ether is the solution. It does show the path, but for some reason, it just doesn't show up on modern screens. Okay, anyway, once you exit, you want to warp to the light world, and then you'll get heart piece 24 of 24 for your 20th and final heart container. And all we gotta do is beat the game now. Okay, so warp back to the dark world, jump off this cliff, and then we have some Lionels. These guys are much less threatening than in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If you bonk that one, and then just move to the north side of that peg, it will get stuck every single time. Otherwise, I think they take 8 sword slashes. They have a ton of health. I think they are the strongest enemies in the game, aside from the bomb Cyclopses. So, yeah, just watch out. As long as you have all 7 crystals, as soon as you walk up to Ganon's tower, the maidens come out, use their powers combined like Captain Planet, break the seal on Ganon's tower, and the staircase is revealed. Very similar to Ocarina of Time, which really rips off A Link to the Past, or uses A Link to the Past as an inspiration. Okay, so normally in Ganon's Tower, I show you the critical path and then we just get moving. However, I've gotten requests to show both paths through this dungeon, so that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start off and we're going to take the normal critical path. This way you could just skip ahead in case you don't want to see the other side, but we're going to start on the left. So we're going to go down this staircase. And then this side has all the puzzles, so it's faster. So you want to bonk into this torch to get the key. Take the key and go to the left. Do not go to the right. You're going to lift up this pot for another key. You're going to knock down this laughing peg and this laughing peg. You're going to push the switch as well as the floor tile to open the door and be able to access it. Then what we're going to do is you can use the hook shot to zip from brick to brick. Otherwise, you can just bonk into this one, hold down, and then zip on over, zip here, and then you are going to either plant a bomb or use the cane. Shoot that to activate the switch. That lowers the red bricks in here, and then you use a cane here, get this key for your third key, shoot the switch, go through this door, and then you are going to stand on this tile, shoot the crystal switch. You have some invincibility, and then you can go there. You can either wait for the fire ropes to pass, or you can just bonk on over to jump over it. You want to push this tile to the left to reveal a chest. Zip on over, open this for another key, open this door. Then we have fun with warping, so take this warp tile, skirt around this one, take this warp tile, take this warp tile, and then you can just walk along this wall here. And then what you're supposed to do is take this warp tile and then the one right in front of it as you warped into the next room. Otherwise, you could just take damage and skip right over it. But the intended way, I'll just show it to you. The intended way is to hit this warp tile, hit this warp tile, and then you're on the other side. But the damage boost is fancier. And that's it. So that is this side of the dungeon, okay? And then what you would normally do is you would come up here, and then again, if you were to use the Ether Medallion in this spot, you would reveal the secret floor pattern. So you'd be able to see that you can lift up this pot, and this only works on SNES. On Game Boy Advance, the gold sword breaks pots, so this will not work on Game Boy Advance. But on SNES, you can just, oh my god, Jesus Christ. You can bonk into that pot, and then just, you would get knocked over, so basically look like this. You just get knocked over by bonking into the pot. Okay, so that's the left side. Okay, so we're going to warp back to the entrance, and we're going to do the right side. I'm going to warn you, I have not done this in probably 20 years. So I don't actually, I think I remember this, but we'll see. So we go down the right side, and then I think we push this tile? This tile? Where's the switch? That switch. Oh, we need the, okay. Cane. Switch. Good. Bombs? Arrows? Bombs? Bombs. And then this switch drops bombs, so you don't want to pull this. Yeah, don't do that. Go through the door. And then I think you need to outlast this, and then you'll, oh god. A chest appears either, I think, on the top, possibly the bottom. Oh my god, this is just going so horribly. But yeah, like slashing the tiles, you have a floor master, you've got all the tiles, you've got all this nonsense. And then slashing the sword also activates the flame spitters. See, it's a nightmare of a room. Like, this is why I don't do this side. It sucks. And it just wastes so much time waiting for this. And then the chest should appear. Yep. Open that. Open this door. Great. Don't go through the north door. That's a bit of a trap room. You want to push this here. Lift. You want to, like, kill all the enemies in this room, basically. Ugh. I was trying to bonk that. Kill these little jellyfish. Is there anything in this room? I believe this room is a trap. One, there's a floor master. Yeah, I believe this room is a complete trap. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a floor tile in here that creates pits. Almost positive. I mean, I could be wrong. Oh my god, this is why I don't do this side of the dungeon. Incredible. I'm gonna skip that room. I know there's nothing in that room. Whatever. This is why I don't do this side of the dungeon, folks. It's such a waste. I mean, it's fine if you want to do it. It's fine. That locked door just leads to the other side of the puzzle dungeon, so don't even waste a key on that door. So you can transform that into a fairy if you ever need. We're actually going to use that later. So the reason that took so many hits is because my sword beams were actually hitting it, not the sword itself. All right, So we kill all these things. And then we gotta light the torches to activate the door on the south side of the room. Hopefully the floor master doesn't get in the way of any of my fire. Okay, come down here. You don't have to kill any of the Gibdos if you don't want, but it certainly makes it easier. Wait for the floor master, unless the floor master isn't in this room. Okay, so you want to take a brick, toss it over, hit it, do it again. You can also do this with a bomb. It's just a lot easier with a brick. Okay. None of these chests matter. I'm telling you that right now. That's the compass. The compass is a trap, so don't get it. You come into this room, you hit that. There's a key in here. You hit this, you come down here, you open this. You come to this room. I don't think there's anything in these pots. Yeah, no keys or anything. You wait your turn. This is gonna start crumbling. Can't believe I remember that. Come over here. And then in this room, pull this back to reveal a tile. That gives you a path. Oh, God, whatever. You hit this. Again, there's an invisible path, so you can light this. It shows you the path. I think Ether will do the same thing. But yeah, that's how you do that. And then you end up in this room anyway. So it's the same exact room as the bonking pot. It's literally the same thing. I'll show you, again, use Ether to reveal the path. It won't show up in the video, but you can cheat this right here. And then I'm completely guessing. You go, oh, no, I guessed wrong. I'm trying to conserve magic is what I'm doing, but it's okay. Oh, God. This is why I hate doing this the quote-unquote correct way. I can never remember this path. Yep. Come over here. And then, do we turn left here? Okay. Bing, bang, boom. Done. That's why bonking into that pot is so much easier. That's why doing the left side of the dungeon is easier. But now you've seen the right side and you know how to get through it. Okay. Lift this up. Plant a bomb. There's a floor master in this room, so just be... Oh, come on. I think there's a floor master in this room. No? Okay. Come down here. There's bombs in that chest if you need. But coming down here, we now have to fight the first Light World boss again. Silver arrows kill these things in one hit. Which is why getting the silver arrows before fighting Ganon is really helpful. And then you want to run into this room. And then we're going to get the big key. In the left and right chests are bombs and arrows, which we don't need. Okay, then we come in here. If you were to bonk this wall, it opens to reveal a really precarious fairy fountain. It's kind of annoying. You just wait for them to fly around, then you get them. It's very annoying. I think if you hook shot them, they don't actually get collected. Oh, they do. Never mind. So just wait for them to fly around, try to catch them in a net, and put them in a bottle. All right, come up this staircase, and then we are going to get the red mail. So wait for this fire rope. You can actually push it over, get the red mail, and then warp to the start of the dungeon. All right, now we start ascending the tower, and there's only one way to do this. So luckily, I don't have multiple paths to show you this time. All right, so in this room, this is where the boomerang comes in handy. You're going to press this crystal switch, walk along here. When you throw this pot, it's going to hit the switch. It's going to do it again. Push this brick down to open the door. Wait for the bad fairy to be in a decent position. Come down here. And then we have this room with mimics. In the Game Boy Advance version, when you are pushing a statue, the mimic will move. In the SNES version, it doesn't. Weird change. So you want to shoot that guy, wait for the traps to move, come back across. So luckily, the mirror shield will block the beams that the mimics shoot. However, it does not block Bombos beams. All right, come up here, drop down here, hit this switch right here. Oh, messed that up. That's okay. Make sure the door's open. That's the important thing. Oh, God. All right, make sure the red tiles are up. Come over here. And then just walk, and walking should give you more or less perfect timing to get across. And then we have to talk. Okay, so really quick. Somebody, I think I read something that there's a path here. There is no path here. Nothing is showing up on my screen. Right? No. Okay, great. I'm okay with that. So I thought I read that you can like go right or something and get across. Oh, God. Okay, so the reason we need to talk is because this is the one time in the game where bonking across pits is necessary. You do not have to go into this room. You don't have to do this, but it's the only way to get across. So what you want to do is you want to face to the right or the left. Start holding A to start charging your Pegasus boots, and then tap up on the D-pad just once. Just tap it to change Link's direction while he's charging the boots, and then you will bonk on the brick as you are sailing across and over the pit. Hold down on the D-pad to cheat the edge and get across. It should look like this. So A, up, down. You don't even need down there. Plant a bomb. It will blow up the crack. And then it reveals a room with some refills. And a couple fairies. So I think most of these pots are empty. Oh, there we go. Cool. And then you can either hook shot across or bonk into this wall and hold up to cheat the ledge. Okay. All right, so now we just have some enemy gauntlets. So you want to kill everything as quickly as possible. Very good. These gauntlets get harder and harder, so there's more and more perils in each room. Luckily, pots kill these Stalfos, dry bones guys in one hit. They also kill these blue knights. They're literally like chess piece knights in one hit as well. This is not the worst room, but it's close because it's an ice skating rink. All right, I recommend charging the sword and then try to kill the Stalfos quickly. God. Bombos, definitely, yep. Now, there is a pinwheel in the next room, so just walk up to it, sprinkle it with magic powder to transform it, and you're back up to full health. Now we're going to have to kill the land molas again, but this time, so the Armos had an ice skating rink to make it harder. This time there's a flame spitter in the corner of the room, making this more difficult. However, if you manage to hit one with a silver arrow, it dies immediately. Otherwise, you know, just fight them like normal. I can normally never hit them with silver arrows, so I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, so this room is really flashy. It's like my favorite room in the whole game. So basically, we're going to go up this staircase, and then in the next room, we're going to come out the staircase. We're going to be on an invisible platform, an invisible pathway. And then what you want to do is you want to walk down a bit, plant a brick in the center of the room using the cane, and then as soon as the Wizroads become active, press Y again. It will shoot beams at them and kill them all really quick and make a really sick sound. Should look something like this. Boom. Okay, and then to see the path, use ether. Again, this won't show up in the video, but it'll give you the path. It's a very easy path, just like that. Okay, in this room, we just want to run across. And then in this room, we have 4 Wizrobes. Oh, God. Okay, got another shot at this. So yeah, like I said, sword beams kill these things in one hit. They have no health at all. All right, so in this room, just run up. There's going to be a bunch of guards, but that's okay. In this room, you want to be careful and conserve your magic. You need to light 4 torches, but they are all in really awful locations. So I like to lift up these pots first and then go back here. So we're going to start with the torch, or the lamp. We're going to light this one, light this one, fall down the pit, light this one on your way, come down here, take out the fire rod, lift up this pot, shoot it, go. Okay, so in this room we have a heart and a magic refill. And then in the next room, we got to be really fast lighting the torches. So go up this staircase. We're going to come over here. Come over here. Light in. Done. If you need a key for any reason, kill one of the Helmosaurs. One of them always drops it. But we're going to end this dungeon with an extra key. Go through this door. And then what we got to do is we got to plant a bomb. Throw it on the conveyor belt. This way it moves in front of the crack. A little further down. So it moves in front of the crack and blows it up. So we're going to avoid this trap, go down. If you can't get the timing right, it's okay. What you can do is as long as you don't mind tanking a hit or two, is you can actually just walk along the wall, plant the bomb like right in front of the crack, and it won't move. But you will take a hit or two. But if you're getting frustrated with the timing, just do that. It's a lot easier. Okay, so once again, we don't need this key, but I'll show you how to get it. So you just want to come in here, whatever, open this, get a key, and then you're good to go. Oh, hello, I'm stuck. Great, and then go through this room. Okay, so this is where the gold sword really comes in handy. We've got to fight Moldorm again, but if you have the gold sword, you kill him in 2 hits, and he doesn't even speed up. If you get knocked down, it's not the end of the world. You don't get knocked to the beginning of the dungeon or anything, but you will likely get knocked down on spikes. And then the basement room also has wizrobes. Just look for a door in the top right corner or the northeast corner of the room, and you'll get back up here in 1 shot. That's damage. That was really stupid. So yeah, like I said, the gold... Oh! Oh my god! Spikes, bad fairies, wizrobes. Hello? Hello. Hello, thank you. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to need a magic refill before we go to Ganon, so... Anyway. 1. I recommend taking out the hook shot, because you can't pause while something is dying. 2. Done. If you have the red sword, you will have to deal with a fast phase, but gold sword, nope, just skips it. This is 20 rupees. It's a fail-safe chest. I can't remember what would be in there otherwise, but yeah. Okay, so this room, either take the cape or the cane, the blue cane, and then you can literally just, oh god, you can literally just, oh god, you can just run through the room, no problem. Everything dies, and you're good to go. Otherwise, that's like a crazy, crazy room to navigate. All right, so the boss of Ganon's tower is not Ganon, necessarily. It's Aghanim. However, Aghanim 2 has a new trick up his sleeve where he splits into 3. However, in this phase, or in this form, the clones will never shoot blue. They always shoot orbs, which is what you need. And again, it's 6 hits. So what you want to kind of try to do is like line it up to where the clones are like more or less in front of Aghanim. This way you can reflect everything into him, because everything does deal damage to him. Everything you reflect does deal damage, but you want to try to like get them all in one scoop, you know what I mean? It's hard though. It can be hard. All right, so that's Ganon, or Aghanim, sorry. That's Aghanim. Once he goes down, Ganon is revealed. He transforms into a bat. I guess Ganon's like Dracula. I think it's the only game where Ganon transforms into a bat. And then this is the only place where the duck works, or the flute works. It's automatically called. And then you chase after Ganon in bat form. Whew. And then you show up at the top of the Pyramid of Power. However, I need magic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp. Yep, that's a door. Of course it's a door. I'll try to imagine this as the eye. Yeah, good enough. Okay, so we can't go back into Hyrule Castle Tower. We actually can't even get into the castle at all. So even if we warped here, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I need magic, so I'm going to quickly warp to Kakariko Village. And then we're going to bonk into a tree over here. There might be a closer magic, but I don't know it. The reason I need magic when I normally don't is because I used ether so many times to show you everything. So, yeah, that's why. If you just chose the left side path, you probably don't need magic. But it's not a bad idea to have extra magic, you know? All right, so warp to Link's house, and then we're going to use the secret warp back to the Pyramid of Power. And we're going to finish the game. All right, 3 hours on the dot going into Ganon. Should be done probably by like 3:06, 3:07. Although my recording software time is not always correct. All right, so fall into Ganon, and then we are immediately going to start attacking him. You can attack him once or twice before the dialogue starts. That's once. In the first phase, he's going to spin his trident around. He's going to chuck it around the room. And then you need to hit him. Excuse me. You need to hit him a bunch. Once you deal enough damage to him, he will spin the trident in place, and then he will shoot bats. What you can do is you can use the hook shot for invincibility right there. You don't have to do that, but it certainly makes things easier. Avoid the bats as best you can, and then keep hitting him. This is like the most deadly phase of the fight, so you can just move out of the way. 1 or 2 more hits should be fine. Yep. So in this phase, what you need to do is you need to hit him before he jumps. And the reason for that is because if you don't hit him when he jumps, a bat will come out and it'll leave behind a trail of fire, and then that can knock you off. If at any point you are knocked off the ledge in this boss room, come on, buddy. Come on. If at any point you are knocked, oh my god, I'm going to kill you. Literally, I'm going to kill you at some point. If you're knocked off the ledge at any point, you will just fall down into an interior chamber of the pyramid, and then you will end up having to start the fight all over again from the very start. So even if you have him down to 1 hit, doesn't matter. All right, so we got lucky there. So I'm going to stay paused here for a second and just talk. So after he jumps for the 4th time and starts knocking the floor off for the 4th time, creating the full pit. At that point, what you need to do is every time you hit him with your gold sword, it will freeze him. Then you need to take out a silver arrow and shoot him. So you got to freeze him with the sword, hit him with a silver arrow, and you got to do that either 3 or 4 times. I can't remember. I think it's 4. And then he dies. However, there are 2 torches in this room. When the pit is complete, those torches will start to go out. And so what you need to do is you need to keep them lit, either using the lamp or the fire rod. Lamp uses less magic, so if you're getting low on magic at any point in this fight, switch to the lamp and light them manually. All right, so here we go. That's 1. I'm not going to get him there. Always recommend lighting the torch on the right first. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you can get 2 arrows off on him. Got him. So we should just need 1 more. That's rare. Yeah, so 4 hits, and that's it. It's a tough fight. It's quite tough. We managed to get lucky on that double hit there. Sometimes if you hit him from the side and he like moves into a wall or a lamp, it'll sort of cancel his movement, and then you actually get another shot on him. So it's not a total waste to like spam your arrows when he's frozen. Sometimes you can get 2 hits on him. But that's it. That's the game. So as soon as you walk in here, you'll get the Triforce, and then the game is over, and we'll get credits. So let's do that. Okay, so I believe in the American version, you have to keep pressing A through this. I don't think the text is automatic. The essence of the Triforce. Yeah, you've got to keep pressing A. I think in the Japanese version, it's automatic. Anyway, that is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past in just about 3 hours. For people who have been subscribed to this channel for a while, I actually did this a while back. So back on, what is the published date of this video? Let's see. Let us see. Back on October 6th, 2021, so just short of 2 years ago, I did this walkthrough. I streamed this live on this channel, And it does get some views. However, as of this recording, it has 5,749 views. Now, that is a lot of views. That's not nothing. However, if we were to look at my individual videos, link to the past, my individual videos for this game, so, wow, this is crazy. Turtle Rock has 93,000 views. Swamp Palace has 17,000. Misery Mire, 59,000. Ganon's Tower, 67,000. Thieves Town, 25,000. What about Dark Palace? What does Dark Palace have? Let's see. Dark Palace. Dark Palace, 42,000 views. And back in March of this year, so 6 months ago, I re-recorded the Dark Palace walkthrough, and it already has 2,700 views. So the reason I decided to do this was I was curious whether or not the live stream archive doesn't really show up in search results like a regular walkthrough VOD uploaded video will. So that's why I redid this. The other reason that I did this, and if you haven't joined me for a walkthrough before, I typically talk over the credits and give a bit of story time. So that's what I'm doing here. So the other reason that I did this is because it's September 2023. Today's September 3rd, 2023. Over the past, 6-ish months, I have done a lot on this channel. Really, over the last 3 or 4 months, I've done a ton. I covered The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I did videos for all 152 shrines, I think there were, in that game. All the dungeons, all the bosses. I did not do a full playthrough walkthrough just because that game is so insane. It's so large, and there's so much optional stuff that you don't need to do that I just don't feel like routing it, and it doesn't feel necessary. But did all that, and then Final Fantasy 16 came out a few weeks later. I started guides for that, but I got really, really burnt out. And I'm never doing this for views. I really don't ever do this channel for views. The money that it earns is a nice little side hustle. It definitely helps. Everything will always help, but I don't do it for that purpose. I do it because I really like helping people with video games. I like helping people in general, but I have helped people with video games since I was in elementary school. Kids used to give me their Ocarina of Time cartridges in school for me to take home and beat the water temple for them. Sometimes they give me like $5. Sometimes they drop it in my mailbox at home with $5 and a note like, hey, this belongs to whoever. Like, that's what I was known for in school, was the kid who was really good at video games. So I've always really liked helping people with games. But the burnout that I got from Tears of the Kingdom was a result of me not really loving the game, but continuing to really push myself to complete that compendium of 152 shrine guides, all the dungeons and everything. I really wanted that complete set, and I didn't feel great doing it. It just I didn't love that game, and I really pushed myself further than I really should have, and I got very burnt out. And then when Final Fantasy 16 came out, the game was really quite easy. And so I was making guides, but I was like, what am I making these for? I'm saying the same exact strategies over and over and over and over again. Every video sounds the exact same. So why am I doing this? This isn't really helping anybody. Granted, the videos do get views. They're helping someone, but the amount of time that I spend creating them doesn't always shake out to equate into how good I feel afterward. And so I was considering, the thought had crossed my mind, do I want to keep making videos for this channel? Do I want to keep doing this if it's taking so much out of me? And when I started this channel now 6 years ago, I think it was 2016. No, it was 2018. It was October 2018. I really restarted this channel with my Symphony of the Night walkthroughs. Do I want to keep doing this? Or when the thought of do I want to keep doing this crossed my mind, I look back into I look back in time, 2018, figured out why I wanted to do this. And my whole life I've wanted to work in the game industry. I've wanted to work in video games in some capacity. I'm not a programmer. I can't code for my life. I actively dislike coding. And so it took me a long time to figure out where I belonged in this industry. I work in esports now, which I'm really happy with. I'd love to do other stuff at some point, but I'm happy with my job now. I work for a game developer. You know, like I have the dream job more or less. Like I achieved this 30-plus-year-old dream that I've had my whole life. And so, you know, when I restarted this channel, I didn't have that. You know, I did not have that sort of position that I was hoping to have at a company in the gaming industry, or working at a company that I felt was like relevant in the gaming industry or whatever. And of course, that's all subjective, but I wasn't super happy in my career. So I had this side thing that I was doing that brought me a lot of joy because it kept me within the game industry. It kept me in touch with people in the game industry when I would reach out for review codes or whatever. But it was always like this sort of side thing that was pushing in the direction that I wanted to go in with my career. But now I have that dream job, and it's not making guides. Like, my ultimate dream would be to be self-employed, just run this channel full-time and just play games and make guides all day. That would be the ultimate dream. But I'm not going to burn myself out doing that, and so I ended up burning myself out. And so during that period of burnout, I just recently took a 18-day break from home. Like, I went back to New York. I went there for a work event to work the LCS Summer Finals in Newark. And then I stayed for 2 weeks, visited family. I didn't bring anything with me but my phone and a book and clothes. I did not bring my Switch. I didn't bring anything with me. I had content like going live, like scheduled. I did a Dark Souls 1 version 1.0 playthrough, just a Let's Play series. I had that scheduled to upload the whole time I was on break. And yeah, like I just took a break, and it was so nice. And I went to Pennsylvania to visit a couple friends, and I literally, like, we had a fire pit going in his backyard, and he and I were just talking about, like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm burnt out, you know, like, what am I trying to do this for? And we talked for probably like an hour about it. And at the end of this conversation, like, the conversation was like drawing into this sort of area of like, okay, the views are really nice. The money that comes with the views is very nice. The comments that I get on videos of people thanking me for helping them is very nice. Like that, I'm not doing this for any sort of fame or anything. And like, I don't look for outside validation. I try not to. Validation from external sources. But people's thanks are really nice. Like, I'd love to read it every day. But ultimately, it's not bringing me a ton of satisfaction. And so we were just sort of like talking in circles for a bit of like, why am I doing this? And then I remember some advice that I got from a friend when I was really, really struggling, like back in 2016. I was really struggling with my career. And this was a friend of mine who like worked in the games industry, was a known entity in the games industry, had worked on some big titles. And, you know, I was trying to reach out to everyone that I knew in games. You know, people that I maybe grew up with or played Street Fighter with that went on to work in the games industry looking for jobs, like, hey, can you recommend me for anything? This was the only dude that ever really took the time of day and like sat down with me. We sat down at EVO 2016. I think it was in Bally's or I don't know, some bar we sat down in. And I told him all my woes, and he was like, look, man, like, I can't get you a job. Like, no one's going to be able to do that for you unless they're like really high up in a company and can just handpick somebody to hire. Like, no one can do that for you. But what I will tell you is to always follow what gives you good energy. If you're working on something and it's satisfying to you and it's making you happy and it's making you feel really good inside, figure out what about it is doing that and follow that. And so talking with my friend around that, you know, fire pit in his backyard, I remembered that advice, and it always like comes back to that advice that I got from that other friend. And I laughed. I was like, it's always that simple. Like, I've got to figure out like what makes me happy when I do these videos. Like, what sorts of videos are making me happy? And then I realized, like, when I did the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask guides earlier this year, I had a lot of fun because I love those games and I've played them to death. I know them well, and it was just fun to do. Even though they got barely any views, they were still fun. And so I was like, yeah, this A Link to the Past, you know, stream that I did, like, yeah, it only had a few thousand views. It would be fun to do an experiment and redo it, but upload it as a VOD and see what happens. See if it gets more views, see what happens. And so that's what I did because this feels good to do. I enjoyed this. And so going forward on this channel, I'm going to try to stick to things that bring me a lot of joy because I don't have as much time to do this as I used to, but I still want to do it because I still really like to do it. but my videos may get a bit more selective. So instead of doing videos for 152 shrines and Tears of the Kingdom, I may just figure out what shrines are hard and like do videos on that or something. And yeah, there are thousands of people that watch these guides that I would deem on things that are somewhat easy. Some people just like to play through a game with a guide next to them, and that's awesome. I'm happy to be that person, but I don't think I can be that for every single little thing in a game anymore, at least at this point. So that's my story so far on September 3rd, 2023. As you can see here, the total games played is 0. If you die in this game and you save and continue or save and quit or whatever, that counts as a game played. Basically, a death will tick this counter up 1. In the Japanese version of this game, using a fairy will count as a games played. So any death of any circumstance, even if you come back with a fairy in the Japanese version, will count as a death. In the US version, that is not the case. So unfortunately, there's no like press start to continue or anything. So we're just going to reset. And then we're going to go back to the SNES Classic home menu. We're going to restart the game. And then there should be a file in the second slot called Guide. And it should have a number on it that says 0. Boom. So that number next to link there is a death counter. So that games played, whatever that number said, this number will say as well. If you never died, it says 0. If you didn't die while playing this, congratulations, you're officially a speedrunner. I legitimately think I'm going to upload this as a speedrun because I cannot believe, or I'm going to submit this as a speedrun because I just cannot believe that I got first try digging game, first try chess game. That's insane to me. Yeah, maybe one day I'll go back and play the Game Boy Advance version just to make a walkthrough for it. Maybe I'll do that in like a couple weeks. I don't know. I do have a Game Boy player. Unfortunately, I don't have a Game Boy Advance anymore. I definitely don't have the link cable to play it with the Game Boy Advance, but I guess I could just use a GameCube controller. That's a possibility. How much does A Link to the Past go for on eBay? I mean, I could definitely go to Video Games Gameplay LA here in Los Angeles and get it, but Link to the Past Game Boy Advance. $20, $15. Cool. Anyway. Wow, so my copy of A Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance, which is what I originally speed ran the game on, was weathered on the top because I left it in the Game Boy Advance for so long that it just started to wear on the top from the sun. And I just noticed one it got stolen though. My car got broken into at an event in Philly, a fighting game tournament, and all my shit got stolen. But this, I really wonder if this is my cartridge. I'm sure it's a common thing that happens, but who else is playing A Link to the Past so much that their cartridge starts to wear? Anyway, I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's it. That's A Link to the Past. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Like I said, I used to speedrun it, so that's like how I know what each screen has, where the enemies are. But yeah, I hope this walkthrough has been very helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and I'll do my best to help you out. I will give a shout out to my channel members. This is going to be an unedited video, so I'm not going to have them scrolling. But I want to give a thank you to John Aldrich with 40 months, Hector J. Estrada with 27 months, Joe Saunders with 27 months, Daniel Cockrell with 22 months, coming up on 2 years, Daniel. The Old One with 17 months, Brian Brubaker with 17 months, Bagdat Money with 13 months, Greg with 11 months, almost up to a year, X-Lightning 84 with 6 months, happy 6 months, Har Fontany with 3 months, and Caroline Hewitt with 2 months. Thank you all so much for my channel members. So if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you are looking for more guides just in general, maybe that Game Boy Advance guide that I'll do sometime down the road, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when that goes live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. You can also leave a super thanks by clicking the heart icon below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The links for those are in the description below. As always, I'll be SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.